Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Stair Floor podcast. I'm your host, HgFin. Here I have second place finisher and TO of the tournament, Halq,
What's
and
up?
we also have my loser buddy, Juicebox,
What's up?
who's walking away with
Ninth
me.
place bros.
Yeah, ninth place bros. No money, but that's okay. How do you guys feel about the tournament?
It went better than I ever could have expected it to have gone
Mm-hmm.
for many, many reasons.
Yeah, like placements of ourselves and particular players aside, it was really cool.
Yeah, I thought this was fucking amazing, to be honest. There's so much hype around it. We got a lot of good memes out of it, which we'll talk about later. but
Lindsay.
let's just talk about Kobral winning, because
So here's the thing about Kobral, right? In his absence, those of you that have been around a couple years, I've talked so much shit on his behalf about how great he is, how good he is at the game, how just because there's new players doesn't mean he won't come back and destroy them. Like he is, in my opinion, the greatest PMD player of all time. Now, there's people challenging that, and with very good merit, those claims are valid. But that's where I stand on the matter, and this tournament just kind of solidified that for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like almost poetic in a sense that he won, because if you don't know, he's the OG of the OGs, right? He essentially is the very first PMD runner at all. So for him to be the first and then also come in, I don't know if you could call it an upset. I would say it's unexpected that he won, but the fact that he comes in like for another first, winning the first prize pool tournament that we ever had, I think there's some poetic justice in that, you know.
So
Yeah, for sure.
there's more about Kobral that many people may not know. We're not the first community that he's just come in and cleaned up shop in. He's a former world record holder for the original Paper Mario game. He's had many world records throughout the Kirby series. This man is not just a PMD guy. Like he is just a gaming legend, like across many, many different series. Like he's been there and he's done that, and he's done what he's done here in many other communities. So it's not just us. Like it's him.
He like Kirby is like his second main game, or maybe his like main game now, right? Which is kind of crazy because there's a lot of overlap between Kirby and PMD runners, which is
there actually
kind of
is
interesting. But like, what do you know? What year he started like running?
He started running PMD. He did the first PMD run in, I want to say like June of 2013.
Yeah, and like on the leaderboard, I don't even know what time he has now.
In the sky, it's not great.
It's not great. So yeah, he just doesn't really. So he doesn't do any percent runs of this anymore, but he showed up.
He's done Time in Darkness. If you check the
okay.
Time in Darkness emulator leaderboards, he has like a 530 something, I think. Let me check. It might be 528.
But I mean, you called it Halq in the first episode. You literally said Kobral's that's their guy. It's on the whole thing.
Yeah, Kobral has a 529.39 in emulator on in Explorers of Time and Darkness.
That's pretty respectable, I would say. But yeah, let's just talk about the match, Hal, because obviously you lost. Hate to rub salt in the wound, but how did you feel during the match? Were you nervous? Did you think you were gonna lose? What was your like mentality?
So going into the match, I was very confident just because, like I said, I think I said one of the winners interviews, and most of me and Kobral's races, friendly races, I've mostly won all of them, except like the day or two before the grand finals. He was winning. He was getting consistent sub 30s. Like something clicked for him. Like between winners finals and grand finals, something clicked. And I knew it'd be difficult, but I knew I could do it. And then the moment I died in Mount Bristol, I was like, I said out loud, I said GG. That was it.
Yeah.
That was.
But the goggle specs almost had me come back, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, so you were just like a dungeon behind, essentially, especially in like the last half. So you really needed just to go God mode. And I mean, it almost sort of happened, but you needed a way better luck than you ended up getting.
Yeah, so what happened was in the beginning, me and Kobral both got rare fossils in Beach Cave, and he decided to give them up for the safety seed in Drent's Bluff. I didn't think that was worth it, so I didn't do that. And it ended up costing me because I died late into my Russell cut and have a seed.
Hmm. That's like kind of crazy because I feel like revives aren't as important when you have rare fossils, you know what I mean? Because you're just
Yeah.
not gonna die. But
Yeah, that's the idea. It's the hope.
just kill everything and don't die. But
Yeah, just kill everything forehead.
I also want to talk about how did Whom and Cheese get on commentary, because we were talking about that last time, and I think it's awesome that it happened. They did a great job, and I think that was a very
So
fitting duo to commentate grand finals.
I've developed a ritual recently of my morning cheese stream. Cheese streams Sub-Zero Heroes every morning around like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And I go in there and I just relax. And like sometimes we talk about PMD, and then somehow we stumble onto the topic of the randomizer tournament. Now, for those of you that know Cheese or watch Cheese the stream, he's not a fan of rando. But what this man is a fan of and what he truly is passionate about is this community. So the way the issue was brought, I was like, look, I understand you don't want to do commentary. I understand you may not want to play the current randomizer. I understand you have no interest in learning anything about the randomizer. But if we need you, will you come for a commentary session if you're needed? And he said yes. At some point I will come if I'm needed. And then a couple times it didn't work out for him to join commentary, but then grand finals I was like, geez, grand finals, can you lend your voice? Can you lend your expertise and bring this match to these people? And he said yes. And then Whom was a little bit easier to convince than I thought. I thought he would have had some kind of bad blood like for the tournament as a whole just because of how he went out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he was very, very gracious. He was like, yeah, sure, I'll like plan my whole day around that. Doesn't matter what time. So, props to him for that. And there we had our commentary team. It was really, really simple. Now, I think the more complex thing to do was the multilingual streams. We had this rebroadcasted in Spanish as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was always in my plan to get that set up. I just had to beat Zaboos so he could commentate. Him and Diego Lazo held it down. We wanted Yimo on commentary just so we could have both commentators be purely from the community.
Right.
But Yimo, I told him the time. He's like, yeah, no, it's not happening. I'm like, okay, Yimo, that's fine. Yeah, can we some claps in chat for Zaboos for bringing our Spanish speaker viewers the match, because that's a whole audience we haven't been exposed to yet.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that don't understand English that aren't able to watch our content, aren't able to play
Yep.
the games, aren't able to watch speedruns because they just don't understand the language. But when it's explained to them in something they can understand, like they realize, oh, this is so cool, this is so great. How do I get involved? Now, I wish we had a larger Spanish base or people that speak Spanish for them to come to when they come to the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
If their English isn't that great, just so they have, people to race with, people to do full game runs with, people to talk to. I think we're still working on that. We have a really diverse community from people all around the world. That's just one thing we're not quite there yet with. But there was supposed to be a third language stream. I didn't really mention this to anybody.
Oh,
I mentioned it to
really?
a couple people. We were gonna have it be restreamed in German as well.
Oh.
With Carbasi, but Carbasi was like, yeah, just give me like I'll let you know tomorrow morning if I can. And then it's like 3 hours before the match. I'm like, hey, are we good? And he's like, no. so that fell through at like the last moment.
Yeah, last second.
And I asked Fretzy, and Fretzy said no too. So,
well, what is Fretzy even up to? Doesn't he even know about the tournament?
Fretzy's exact response pretty much explained it perfectly for me. He said, thanks for the offer, but I don't really do speed stuff right now, so no. I think he's really deep into university or something.
Okay, that's fair.
He's just a little disconnected, and that's perfectly valid. It happens.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's crazy because there probably definitely is so much untapped potential with these different language speaking countries that might have some sort of barrier getting into the game. Like if we look at the leaderboard, it's essentially all just like, not all, but a lot of it is NA based. There's not that many people from different countries in here other than.
So I mean, we do have the Japanese leaderboards, which that came to be in like 2015, 2016. I got in touch with Otto Kiba, who was, I don't want to say like the representative of the Japanese PMD community. He was the only one I had any contact with. So, through my very fluent Google Translate Japanese, I was able to explain to him what I wanted to do with the leaderboards, because it's a really complicated situation. So Kizaron was a series moderator for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the PMD series, and that was supposed to be his job, was to integrate the Japanese community. And after like a year, I'm like, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? And then he never did it. And I got it solved in like 2 days. So like, it sometimes you just gotta take things into your own hands. But I'm glad we have the Japanese community involved. I'm glad we have hopefully a lot more a lot more of the Spanish community involved.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll see some more runs soon. But no, either way the community gets bigger, and that's great.
It's kind of crazy how like when I think like the communities in this game, you have like Japanese and English, and there's not like any like third community. Like I feel like there's definitely potential for like a Spanish community.
I think Kobral's first run of BRT was in German, so
Okay.
it has been run in German. I know that. Because the PAL versions, I believe it's based on what language you have set on your DS, which I think they do have a language option on the DS. I'm not. If somebody in chat is from Europe or something and can confirm that for me.
PAL versions, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately I didn't get to see or hear the post interview, because as soon as Kobral finished, I discovered there was a wasp flying around. So I had spent the entire time during the interview trying to kill it, but what a
at least you had your priorities straight. That's more important for sure.
How did Kobral sound when he won? Was he like ecstatic, or was he just like more chill about it?
Well, I wasn't there.
Okay.
I hadn't joined yet, and I haven't been back to watch that part of the VOD. Not because like I'm scarred or anything. It's just like I just haven't had time, because I'm not really salty about that match at all. Like it went how it went, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I said it after, or I told a couple people after my winners final set. It's like I was waiting in winners finals for so long, and I was like, damn, I've already won this much money, and it can only go up from here.
Yeah.
And then just for that to eventually have the possibility of being like where I stop, like after I build it up as, oh my god, the sky's the limit. It would have been crushing. So I really wanted to win losers finals. So I was just kind of in my own head there. But then after I got to grand finals, I'm like, I don't care what happens. This is great for the community. We're gonna have like hundreds of viewers, hundreds of people watching, many different languages, or two. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's more than I know. So yeah. I'm trying to remember what happened when I got into the interview. They told me that Kobral ran a Magneton. I didn't even know Magneton was good.
Yeah.
Kobral just didn't sound. I don't want to say he didn't sound excited, but like he didn't sound like somebody that just won $658.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe it. That's crazy. Like he won a free tournament or some shit.
Did you see it or hear?
I did not. I was driving home from my parents at the time of the match, so was
okay, gotcha.
I mean, you can go watch
not
it.
able to
You
watch
pull
it
up.
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick. Just I do want to. I'll just skim through the post interview.
It was around yesterday on Speed Gaming 1 at 1 p.m. EST.
Wait, this is not what I was looking for. Speed Gaming 1. This is the wrong one. So this.
Might be hard to find in the VOD because it was only 30 minutes long.
Yeah, shit. It was fucking just yesterday. I don't know why I can't find it.
Oh, it was after the winners finals of the winners finals of the Red and Blue Randomizer Tournament. Which, speaking of which, one of our participants ended up winning that tournament today. Gamer.
Oh, Gamer won that? That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so the match starts at 7 hours into that broadcast, and then the match ends like 30 minutes later because I suck.
Right. All right, I got pulled up. You guys won't be able to hear it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's fine.
And rare.
Oh.
For a rando, but
I'll make sure you guys can see real quick. Hold on.
Probably like the 750 mark. You have the whole window pulled up, right? Like, look at that chat room.
Yeah. There was there was kind of a battle going on between the Kobral and Halq copy pastas, but there was just too many Kobral ones, essentially.
That's completely valid.
Fossil usage, so like that
You were level 10 by the time you got.
I just want to hear his initial reaction.
But not high jump kick from Golem, apparently. No, Cheese, you did great on commentary. Don't let anybody tell you different. Or
Oh, yeah,
don't
no,
let
I
anybody
fucking-
give you that vibe. You did great.
Champion.
I love you
Very
guys
impressive.
on commentary.
As I was trying to say in the beginning, like there was so little activity. Probably my
GG's,
Kobral.
Oh.
Well done. You played fairly safe, and it appeared to pay off.
Yes.
Hello,
GG's
Halqery.
Halq.
Hi.
You sound too happy, Halq.
The solid effort,
That high.
very good run, nicely done.
Yeah.
A very good tournament run.
I knew it was over the moment I died in Mount Bristol.
That
Dang.
Bristol death was rough.
Like, I thought
Although,
Togekiss would have been able to survive anything, but not high jump kick from Golem, apparently.
What's crazy about this match was it literally went back to the roots of the old meme that EU runners play safe and NA runners play risky. That
And I got punished for it.
yeah, it's crazy that was literally like a
It
thing
was
that
either I got
happened.
punished for it or I won. It was one of two outcomes. And I mean, it's a lot more than that, actually, because me and Kobral in grand finals of a 2021 tournament means that just because you've taken a break from the game, just because you've been around, you've taken breaks of at least a year or more, and you lost interest and regained interest, it's never, it's never too long of a break for you to catch back up and
Right.
and adapt and overcome.
Mhm.
Any barrier in this game can be overcome by Kobral. Kobral could get world record in Sky. Kobral could get world record in Super Gates. He can literally do anything, and it doesn't matter how much time he's been away from the game.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to Kobral. But let's talk about these other matches now. So I can't remember which ones happened before the first episode. So I
Winners
think.
finals was determined at that point. I think the only match we're waiting for was Lycanoo versus Zaboos.
Oh, really?
Which was losers semifinals.
Oh, yeah. Like where's the shit? Oh, here it
To
is.
the right. Yeah.
Noob J hadn't happened yet because I remember talking about how I thought Noob was gonna win, and he did.
Oh, versus Jay, yeah. Yeah, that's actually quite an upset, honestly. Like, if you ask like people that
I thought that
been
was a
around the
pretty big
random community,
upset. Yeah.
just because Lycanoo, he told me like he's just not done well in the previous tournaments. Like, I think he got 9th and 5th
hmm
in the previous two tournaments, and Jay ended up getting tied for first in the previous one, and then I think he got like 4th or 5th in the first one. So there's definitely a large differential of like placement there. But no, the Juicebox curse got him versus Zaboos though.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Zaboos versus me, and then I got me versus Kobral in grand finals, so it never ended.
I
You're
think.
welcome.
I mean, Zabu's had such a great run. Like third place is
Yeah.
nothing to scoff at.
Let's scroll through all the wins he got actually. So started off, I don't remember who I think he won off of a disqualification in winners, because somebody didn't play in the tournament,
or Bakura or whatever.
And then he lost to Kobral in a really tight race.
Yeah.
That's an upset. And then he goes down to losers. He takes out Strife. Strife, thank you for being the first sacrifice of this long storied losers run.
Which Strife didn't deserve that, by the way. Strife could have gone way farther.
Yeah, I think we speculated that he could have gone as far as like round 3 or 4 in losers, which is still pretty good.
Then he beats
Diego.
Lazo. That was the
Latin
free
American Grand Finals right there.
Yeah.
Carbassi, which Carbassi had a little bit of a run too. Because of the seeding, I guess it's not quite as impressive of a run, but the seeding, So we can all agree after playing through this tournament and playing through this randomizer dozens and maybe in some people's cases hundreds of times, that just because you're good at that the game in vanilla does not mean you're good at rando, right?
Right, yeah.
For sure.
So the first thing we took into consideration with seeding was placements in the previous rando tournaments, because those are people that have proven to have done well in the format, and I feel like that was given the highest priority for seeding. But then we did take into consideration people that have a run on leaderboards, and then everyone else. So that's why Easton ended up being seed 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And that was Carbassi's upset in winners to get to winners quarterfinals. But no, Carbassi still had a very strong run, and even in casual races, they were pumping out like 33s or better. So
Yeah,
it's not like they
Kobasi-
got there by accident.
Yeah, Karbasi showed up for sure. And then the Eponymous match, I think this happened already before the last show, but
Mhm.
that one was really close, and I wasn't sure who was gonna win that, but
Yeah, Eponymous's run was very strange because he lost to Whom like badly, like not because like he got destroyed or he did get destroyed, but not by Whom, by the game. Like by the time Whom finished, he was still in Apple Woods. Like and Whom only got like a 20. Whom got like a 30, I think, flat.
yeah.
So like if you're still in Apple Woods at 30, the game is not being nice. If you're at Eponymous's level, that is.
Yeah.
But then from there, like this tournament just never treated him well. Like every time he is in a match, it was like a very close death match. Like Eponymous versus someone was one of the
That
closest
was-
matches we've had.
That was actually a really sick match, and
Mhm.
I can't believe how close that one was at least. But
Yeah, Eponymous was trailing by a full dungeon and a half at one point, and he caught up the distance and pulled it through. So his line was on a string, and then for this is a boost, the string just snapped. But he got a lot out of it. The mileage on that string, dude,
Yeah.
it was insane.
he had an inch and went a mile with it, you know. But like
Mhm.
it's crazy because like these guys are grinders, you know. Eponymous literally earlier today was doing a 10-hour Bidoof stream where he was
That's
only
insane.
grinding Bidoof for 10 hours.
Oh, apparently Zabusa's time versus Eponymous was the best time of the tournament
Really?
as well for like the entire tournament.
What was that time?
Zabus versus Eponymous 28.
Yeah, 28. That's crazy.
Kobral missed it by 5 seconds, but still the best time of the tournament. So.
Yeah. Also, it's sick that the grand finals was like a sub 30. I would have
Yeah.
hated to see anything different.
If I had finished, I might have gotten like a 31 or something. Like I was like halfway through the first part of Steam Cave.
Yeah.
So.
But then not only just Eponymous, but Zabuse, who was it? Literally after grand finals ended, I think it was Zeb in the chat was just like, any rando racers, like anyone trying to race right now.
Mhm.
So like him, Machu, and who's the other person? I forget, but they literally as soon as grand finals ended, were just back at it, so doing runs.
I mean,
Which-
even after Zabuz got knocked out, there was like a 2-hour refractory period, and
Oh,
then
it was
at the end of
Strife,
that,
yeah,
he was
Strife.
just like, "All right, I'm ready. Let's do some more."
After Zabus lost to me, and you expect him to be mopey and never want to play this again. In the winner's interview, it's like he's like, "Any racers?" So,
Yep.
literally, he said that during the interview. So this man was ready to go back on the grind for some just for the fun, of it. That's
Yeah.
somebody that has a passion for the game and isn't just here for the money. So that's somebody that has heart for sure.
I mean, these runs are fun to do, you know. So I hope my hope is that even after this tournament ends, and we don't even know when the next one is going to be, that rando races like are still going on every now and then, you know, because they're just short and sweet, you know. They're fun.
I mean, like if you guys are interested in it, like anybody in the chat, you don't even have to play by the tourney rules. You can make your own rule sets. Sky Temple is like super customizable. Just like play it how you want. It's fun.
Yeah, the tourney settings are 100% purely at this point, now that it's over, a suggestion. So if you'd like to play with only legendaries and make, every wild enemy like a Kecleon or something, just so you can like see how fast the game could possibly be beaten or something,
Yeah,
then you're definitely free to do that.
there's I think people have a lot of ideas with how they want to change the game. Like I think I heard Seb say that he wants
so
the Bidoof
we
IQ groups
have
randomized.
well, so I did get a long list of feedback from Zaboos. Maybe I can give it to you guys. We can kind of talk about it, see what you guys think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As if Zaboos is okay with that. I guess Zaboos is cool. All right, here's all of Zaboos's comments and suggestions.
All right, I'll pull this up on the stream if that's fine.
I'll post them in text format too.
You guys might have trouble reading this. Actually, it probably isn't even worth it now that I think about it. So I'll just read them to you. So basically, if it keeps being 10 dungeons, these are the suggestions. No goggle specs. They don't add anything to the player's skill, and they don't have to do anything to have a huge advantage.
I agree with that, because like the way PMD is structured as a game and as a race, it's everybody has one exit to a floor, and there's only one item in the game that can give you more than that as an advantage. You can find the hidden stairs magically, like miraculously.
Yeah.
But the moment you put on goggle specs, you're almost guaranteed to find if there's a second exit on the floor, you're going to see it, especially if it's closer.
I think there's
and it feels, I don't know if it was intentional or not, or maybe it's just like how the game works, and I've not used goggle specs enough, like just playing casually, but it feels like it was like in 85 to 90% chance to spawn secret stairs. Like it was ridiculously common.
It really is absurd, because it's definitely not like that in vanilla. Which is why like all the zoomer runners were like, they threw goggle specs, at least like for the most part, out of their utility, and like swapped it for something else. But because it's just not that common, and the vanilla is just not worth it. But in this, they're just like everywhere, the hidden stairs. So I think either remove the goggle specs, or it just like lessen the amount of hidden stairs, you know? So it's like, because I don't think there's anything wrong with taking the gamble and using them if they're just not as frequent. Because like they add for the clutch factor, you know what I mean? Like if you're down and you need to make a comeback, and you find the pair of goggle specs, that could come in really clutch. It's like the X factor. So
yeah, the goggle specs single-handedly gave Zaboos the win over Lycanoob.
Yeah.
You know, just to name one match, and Zaboos will admit this himself, because you know, even without the goggle specs, Lycanoob was like right on his tail, and the amount of hidden stairs Zaboos got was insane, to where Lycanoob for sure would have won without the goggle specs in play.
Apparently, that's not an option in Sky Temple, so that is just like dev feedback.
Removing goggle specs is, but
the thing we're talking about,
the stairs,
the item, but the hidden stair rate, yeah.
Which
I mean, these are all concerns that can be forwarded to Cappy, because we've already seen through working with him in this tournament that he's very receptive to ideas, and he can implement things like overnight and make our lives easier.
So yeah, it's tough. We just have to come to like a decision essentially, or just like we just play around. If he were to get around to making like that an option where hidden stairs just appear less, we could try both and just see how we feel about it. But I think either method works, because like the thing is, like I'm actually fine if we just remove the specs, because the hidden stairs are still there, and sometimes it's like you get that nice little dopamine hit when you run on them randomly. So I think either way could work. I don't know which one would be better, to be completely honest. So moving on from that, find a way to not have the doof have a cute sniffer. That shit was annoying, didn't add anything. So what is a cute sniffer?
A cute sniffer is the IQ skill where as soon as you get on the floor, it tells you how many items are on the floor, and it lasts forever.
Yeah, that's
Zaboos timed it to where you lose 45 seconds for having that ability.
Which in the vanilla game, if you don't know, I'm pretty sure it's Shaman that has that. So you only come across that in vanilla if you're doing Darkrai. It's just like there's nothing you can do about it, so it's just like you just deal with it. But if there's any way to remove that, I definitely think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Because
And I mean, it's not unfair that it's in, because
yeah,
if you get it, your opponent has it too. But it's just not fun. Like, it's just really lame that it's just something that you have to deal with for 23
It
floors.
doesn't
It's
help.
so boring.
And if you are to find a secret room in the hidden stairs instead of the secret bazaar, guess what? There's 5 items on this floor, and you
Mhm.
have absolute confirmation of that with the acute sniffer IQ skill.
Yep, there are none
Um,
hiding.
And Bidoof's IQ are notoriously uncustomizable, so you can't even turn it off of him if you notice it. You're stuck with it.
what do you guys think about this? Would be more dev feedback than something we can change again, but being able to actually set Bidoof's IQ skills or like moves or something like that.
Like make them consistent across, like regulate them, like standardize them.
Like because you can do that for yourself and for your partner. So like, but Bidoof is not an option. So I'm saying give
Yeah,
people the
so
option
when you
to do
get a
that.
Bidoof with Memento, you can be like, hey, maybe don't use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully customizable Bidoof would change the game for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the other option, of course, is just to not randomize IQ groups, like Secure just said. And I heard that's what I was saying earlier because I heard Zeb say that in his stream, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. But
Yeah, honestly, I would be all for allowing customization of Doof, because like it does more than just make it not annoying when you have to deal with Doof, because it when you have control over that third party member, you suddenly are back to having full player expression, full player skill expression again.
yeah.
Because like, whether we like it or not, uh when you get Doof, if it's not like anything other than one of the best mons in the game, you're probably gonna have to babysit it, regardless of what your team is. So like, you could have a ghost type that's flying through walls, like flying over gaps and stuff all the time, leaving your partner by himself. And then when you get Doof, no matter what it is, you just have to sit there. You can't play how you were, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, like in my eyes, I think anything to make the Bidoof more consistent is ideal. Because like you either get like a really good one or a really shit one. And then in vanilla, like you always have the same one no matter what. And I know this like it's like a
The
randomizer.
Memento Doof may have cost EMO against Jay. I'm not
Really?
exactly sure how that match went. I it's been a while. But you know, they both took several deaths to Mount Horn, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I just think it would be beneficial to make Bidoof more consistent. So whether that's removing or making it not randomized, the IQ shit, the IQ groups, I mean, or just making it so that you can change his moves and like his shit, whatever. It's something that will make it more consistent. I don't know what, but those are the ideas. So after that, we have reduce rare fossil spawn to make them an actual tool instead of the main source of damage. So I was talking about this yesterday too, and I don't know where I stand on the issue of the rare fossil spawn, because on one hand, they make the game more consistent. But on the other hand, if you lessen the spawn, then it makes it more similar to vanilla PMD, and the player has to be able to adapt more and use their big brain, which it just depends what you value more, I think, in a run.
I have
I
mixed
think-
feelings on removing the rare fossils or reducing them, because yes, the players in the current tournament were very over reliant on them. But at the same time, one of the problems that we had in our last tournament was just like having to just drudge through enemies and just slowly climb through every dungeon. It would dramatically reduce the amount of time that players can complete ROMs, and sometimes just make them unfun, because with they'll run into more PP issues, and
Yep.
max elixirs aren't guaranteed.
Like if you
There'll be more
didn't
experience,
play,
I guess, but
if you didn't play the old randomizer, then you have no way of knowing. But if you like get stuck in a dungeon because of like levels or like your moves are bad, whatever, it is so annoying and just not even fun to try to force your way through that. So I thought the rare fossils were a great addition So I don't
Maybe a cap could be put on to how many rare fossils a player could own at any time.
something like that, or like instead of them being on the ground, you could have them like only be in the shop. I don't know if this is even possible, but you could have them only be in the shop, but they're guaranteed to be in the shop, and you have to buy them, like actually spend money to buy them.
I like the idea about them being in the shop, but like not guaranteed. So it's if you really want that time save, you have to commit to going to the shop, and then you have to, roll the dice to see if you actually get those rare fossils. So
Yeah,
it makes it a lot more of a committal decision for the player in that case. Where if the fossils are guaranteed in the shop, that's not really much of a commitment. That's just smart.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think what I would like to see, and I don't know shit about how PMD works, so I don't know if this is like even possible in coding. But I would like to see them basically stay as they are right now, because I'm assuming the next evolution of the randomizer tournament is we're gonna go farther in the game, because that just seems like the logical next step, right?
Right.
But after Groudon, you get significantly reduced amounts, because after Groudon, it's like, okay, you've had enough time to get the ball rolling on your team. It should be functional at this point.
I agree with that, I think. Because for me, so in vanilla PMD, you have a good mixture of like adaptability and having to use your items and moves wisely, and then also just pure movement skill. How fast can you actually get through the dungeon? And like I was saying earlier, it's just dependent on what the community decides is more important, the movement skill, or like having to think in the adaptability aspect of it all. So I think that's where rare fossils make the difference, you know.
Well, some people saying in chat that they won't play without rare fossils if we completely remove them. Rare fossils are pivotal in making this accessible. I literally showed this mode to people who've never played the game, and I personally want that to be preserved a little bit. Now, I do understand that it's important to keep that easy mode in case people are trying to get into the game, but this is more of a discussion for like a competitive setting.
Yeah.
Where we don't want a meta that's over centralized in rare fossils like this tournament had.
Right.
Because
the winning player was usually the one that had the most rare fossils.
Yeah, again, like we're talking about the tournament setting specifically. We've already mentioned Sky Temple's super customizable. You can play it however you want outside of the tournaments. So like it sounds kind of mean to say it this way, but I don't know how else to say it. It's kind of irrelevant how accessible the tournament settings are, because it's for people who are trying to compete for money.
Yeah, we just wanted. I mean, it's not that it's unfair, but like we want the most, like anybody has a chance to win, and like it's most dependent on how they play.
Yeah,
I know that sounds like completely contrary to how PMD is, because it's a roguelike where you could find every stair immediately and never have a problem. But the most things we can control to make it as skill based as possible, we'd like to do that, I think.
Yeah. Like my defense of them is that I personally value like movement skill over adaptability skill, just because I'm dumb at the game. But that's my defense of them. But also I do think they could use a nerf, because it really limits creativity and freedom of expression during these runs, because all you're doing essentially is like, oh, enemy, LR. Like, you're not thinking as much. So I think they can use a nerf.
Or in Whom's case, open your bag and throw the rare fossil manually, because for some reson his controller won't let him.
Oh, really? Oh, I had
Is
no
that
idea.
what it was?
That's what he told me.
Wow. I wonder how much time he lost because of that shit.
But he made like a lot of money off of it, so it worked out, I guess.
Well, at least in Whom's case, he's literally just unable to do it.
It was just a handicap for him to make it fair for everybody else.
Yeah, it's not even his full power level, you know. But at least in his case, he was actually limited.
He uses an Xbox 360 controller, which is even worse, because
that
the
is
D-pad
bad.
on that is god awful.
Yeah, the D-pad is terrible.
Meanwhile, though, if you look at the first rounds in the tournament with the people that got knocked out early, no, like we were talking about last time, where people don't even know you can change your movement speed. Everyone's just opening their bag and throwing them and not knowing.
Okay,
how
this
to,
is
they
not
can set.
on Zabusa's complaints. We need that default, like, because there's a default set of options,
Yeah,
and we need to find a way to make the default what everyone changes their settings to. Now, I understand there's a preference with what is displayed on the top screen. I
Yeah.
prefer to see just team stats. Some people
Mhm.
don't like to
everyone
see the
has
map
a
on the bottom
different
screen.
preference. Yeah.
Yeah, some people like to see the map on the top screen, and they can go in and change that. Maybe that could be a setting. I don't know if you're familiar with Pokemon Speed Choice, but before the game even starts, you're given like an options menu. And you can change all these options beforehand, and then the game starts and they're already preset for you. Like maybe next to the new game setting where that others option is, there could be all of those options instead of send demo dungeon and send a Wi-Fi connection.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that'd be nice if we could do that. But then again, people are still going to be opening the options menu anyway. So maybe, like, are you saying that you want to have a way where you could set the options before you start the run? Is that what you're saying?
That or just like there's an option. I mean, fast is something everybody does,
Yeah.
so that should just be default, just so people don't have to open up the
Yeah, it
menu for
should.
that.
Speed fast and don't look at your partner when he takes damage should definitely be default.
Yeah.
And if you want it something other than that, you can go in there and change it yourself,
Yeah.
or do it before the game. Just to avoid the amount of time you're losing doing it, because people should not be losing time to personal preference. I think.
Well, it's really trivial because it's only like a couple seconds.
I mean, we've had races come down to that small amount of time.
That's true. Hashtag Team Bread. Shout out to
Team
like
Bread, only the real ones remember.
If
Jeez.
you don't know, back in the day when we actually had to sit through the cutscenes and walk around in the guild, like a noob literally lost his run because he named his team Team Bread. It was like that, like few seconds off from winning.
He wanted to get that bread.
Yeah, which I missed the bread meme, man. That was a funny
I
meme
remember
for a while.
he came to the interview like, I lost KD, my Team Bread.
But that was my favorite thing forever. Team Bread forever, man. Yeah, that's all I have to say about the fossils, at least. TM compatibility. No, what?
Kind of pivoted to something else. But TM compatibility, that's a dev question because as far as I know, there's not a way to do it in Sky Temple. But it's a great idea.
If he figures it out, then cool. I feel like I've explained this like 5 or 6 times over the past couple weeks because my friends who don't play PMD have become interested because of the tournament. So they wanted to like watch and support everybody and figure out what's going on.
Right.
But Chunsoft is not Game Freak. Chunsoft makes PMD. They are not affiliated with Pokemon, and it seems like they kind of got the gist of Pokemon, but they made some weird decisions about like base stats and move compatibility. That's why Espeon can learn Brine and Totodile cannot. Like that's literally the only reason. They're just not the main developers.
I
mean, that may be a compatibility issue in the main series as well. Like potentially. That may be a thing in the main series where Espeon can learn that because Espeon is like a fully evolved special attacker, and Totodile is a babby. So
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. Hold up. Totodile Brine. Oh, come on.
But no, full TM compatibility is a thing that in main series Pokemon randomizer races is standard default. That and every Pokemon starts with 4 moves is something I think we would highly benefit from. So those are definitely developer questions. Because Beldum's great, but it never gets used because it only has 1 move and it usually sucks.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand on this completely because it's just like that just comes down to that base game knowledge. Like, can I learn the TM or can I not? Like, if you know, and that can give you an advantage. And like, and even if you don't know, you just pick it up and check. But I understand how if you have no moves on your guy for some reason and you really need like Brian or something and you can't learn it, even though you think you should be able to.
There's an example of this I have in the grand finals match. I picked up a secret power TM and a false swipe TM. Agby's moveset was terrible. So I was going to link false swipe into secret power just for a really strong combo because those are 2 very strong moves.
Yeah.
I taught Secret Power first and taught over a move I would have otherwise used, and then I went to go teach False Whip and I couldn't learn it. So
Damn.
yeah,
I didn't know that happened actually. But yeah, I don't know. We can at least if there's the option to do something like that, we can play around with it and see if it becomes OP or not, you know. But anyway, usable HMs. Maybe allow the players to obtain their bag. Okay, so
yeah. The problem with HMs is that you can only open them outside of a dungeon when you open your bag in like Treasure Town. But with the current randomizer, we are not allowed to ever be outside of a dungeon.
yeah, it would be really nice if we could use the TMs because like Rock Smash,
like as a fourth menu option instead of a Kecleon, Electivire, just bag.
Yeah,
so you can do that.
I learned watching Zeb that Rock Smash is really fucking sick in these runs if you have it. So
Rock Smash is wacky.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because it's so slow, but like, dude, that could be like the difference
It's
maker.
literally just a budget mobile scarf.
Yeah, yeah. Which shit like that, I would love to be able to use it if I found it. So I think that's a definite check off on my list that they should be usable.
Yeah. And if for some reason it can't be implemented, probably just remove them from the pool. They don't add anything if you can't.
And they're distracting for new players. They're gold.
Yeah,
they're just
exactly.
sitting there, and
there's
alluring.
a gold plate on the ground. I want it.
Yeah, I think either make them compatible and usable, or remove them because they're just doing nothing. So that's that. Less Sky Summit layouts. So Sky Summit layout would be the fucking. Is that
3
the one?
rooms on top, 3 rooms on the bottom,
then,
2 on each side.
Yeah, those I hate those so much.
Yeah, I got beef with those rooms. It feels like they're like 25% of layouts, and then you get 25% Apple Woods layouts. Like I don't understand why they're so common. Like what happened with that? But
so they
they're too
appear
frequent.
as Chasm Caves, 5 of Chasm Caves vanilla floors, and they appear as 1 floor on Apple Woods. So maybe that makes them 2 different types of layouts because maybe there's a small difference. So it's like layout 12, layout 13, and they're very insignificantly different to where they're 2 separate layouts. So it's like a 2 out of whatever chance for it to show up as a layout instead of a 1 out of whatever. So that's what I think, at least.
I don't know exactly how the coding side of things works and how the game decides what layouts to use, but I mean, sometimes I don't know if I want less or more because it does make it more consistent in the sense where you it's so easy to just like identify the layout once you get it, so you know exactly what you have to do to get to the stairs. Whereas if you want the more, or if you have the more random ones, you can get completely screwed over like looking for them. So I'm a fan of the Apple Woods layouts though, where you have the 4 in the center. The only thing I don't like is when I have to run all the way like around the fucking map completely because there's no opening to get into the room that I need to go. So,
honestly, like I just said I have beef with it, but like the Apple Woods layout is probably one of my favorite layouts in the game. I think it's really cool and it gives you a lot of like freedom of choice when you have the ability to move over terrain and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very
but it
easy.
just happens so much. And I don't understand why, because that was an extremely frequent layout.
Yeah, I think definitely lessen especially like the Sky Summit ones, just like lessen them a bit, I think.
But I definitely think you're also on the right track with like we don't want too many weird layouts because like I was watching Halq play Darkness earlier today, and I watched him follow a hallway to 2 separate dead ends in Mount Bristle.
Yeah, that's the shit we don't want. Like dead ends, things like that. Get those out of here. It's just there's no reason for that. But
according to Shady, it's a glitch.
Oh, really?
It is in Beach Cave where if you're in like the bottom left room of Beach Cave and you go to the right out the right door and there's like a long dead end, apparently that's some kind of bug. It's not supposed to do that.
I had no idea.
I don't know if that's the case for every dead end, but that's what I've been told.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's an easy fix, like when we had the actual like inaccessible stairs earlier in the tournament. Maybe it's an easy fix, but I don't know how it works. So, the Dark Hill layout, true. Yeah, the Dark Hill is also very common. I forgot about that. That one I don't have that much of a problem with. It's just like, do you want them to be common or not? I guess
The only
it's
problem I have with it is it really, really nerfs the warp scarf because the warp scarf
yeah,
column.
yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I know that a lot of people think I'm on the wrong side of history for this one, but I'm all for nerfing the warp scarf. I'm team cheese with the warp scarf argument. I don't like it.
It's already so nerfed. It's not even that good in this game. Why do you want to nerf it more?
Look, all I'm saying is I was struggling in like Applewood's Mount Horn in my knockout match, and I got that warp scarf, and I was gaining fucking quick. The warp scarf is ridiculous.
Oh, you just got
and
lucky. Like some people, like it's really hard to have it work in your favor. Like there's tactical usages for it, I think. But if you're
I
just
think
pure
the
using
warp
it,
scarf is so valuable because it's just like, okay, I just waited for like 3 seconds, just held B and A for 3 seconds. I now know that the stair is not in half of the rooms on the floor.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I like it for that reason. I think it's nice because
Plus,
then
like you can just get dumpstered by it, and you can like lose a ton of time. You can get warped into the same room multiple times.
yeah, I
Oh
think
You
yeah,
can get like
if you're using it in big rooms, like that's a warp scarf trap. No knew that.
yeah, I think there's like it already has like such a big risk to it that I personally don't think it really needs a nerf.
plus you're leaving your partner alone unless it's
Yeah,
not like a partner they can.
that alone's like so scary to do. Like I lost, like I have lost fucking runs to like just leaving my partner behind. Not even just because of the warp scarf, but like leaving your partner alone is scary. So it's a risk, but I think it's up to the player if they want to go for it or not. But anyway, yeah, back to the layout. Yeah, probably just like lessen those, maybe. Just
You
make
no
them
longer
not
have a
as
chat
frequent.
room.
Wait, oh, what the fuck? Top of the morning. Um, more annoying move bans like refresh, hard swap, and yeah, I'm fine. But things
Yep.
like refresh is just so annoying. Like you'll just be
We've
running
already
around the
banned a
dungeon.
ton of them. Like we banned Heal
Yeah,
Bell.
yeah. Fortunately, we did ban like a majority of these.
Yeah, we missed a couple is effectively what it boils down to.
Yeah, so just get rid of the couple that we missed. Um,
Mm.
listen.
Yeah, all of the pre-tournament decisions, like what Pokemon to ban, what Pokemon to keep in, what moves to ban, what abilities to ban, that was all Lycanoob. And I think he did a phenomenal job just weeding out everything we didn't want to see.
I think
for the
so
most
too.
part.
Like compared to
Like
the
it
last
was a
tournament,
solo effort. Like I didn't do shit to do that initial setting. Like that was completely all him. So he
compared to the
deserves all
last
credit for
one, there's so much less bullshit like that. So that's awesome that he was able to narrow all that shit down. But yeah, we just gotta clean up the rest of the bad stuff, like refresh. So maybe more Poke bans. Just this is gonna be your expertise.
That's the first one on this list that I would actually just like straight up say no to, in my opinion. I think our ban list is like, for lack of a better word, the ban list is sick. It's super good right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I think it's super well balanced. The only thing I could really see is banning more pokes from the bottom, but like I don't think that's really relevant. You get enough good pokes in selection. You have to get so absurdly unlucky for male and female to both just be bad
mhm.
that you don't want to pick them. So I think the ban list is fine in my opinion.
Yeah. Personally, I have no problem with it. I can't think of
I
a
had an
single guy that
idea.
was OP.
I had an idea, like just kind of like playing like a fighting game. Like what if PMD the randomizer had like a fighting game roster, like 12 characters that everyone always fucking uses and
Yeah,
are gonna like
I love
keep
that.
their eye out for, and everyone can just pick their personal preference on that.
If
That
anything,
would be interesting.
I think if anything, yeah, we like just somehow that could be like a whole different like category or like rule set for this, right? But and I think that'd be sick. It turns it into like
Like
a
a Riz or something.
League of Legends type thing where you have like your
Yeah.
rosters, you pick your challenger. Uh, so I think if anything, we're gonna ban Pokemon. There's no one that's good. I think we should ban. If anything, just get rid of the shit ones. So
Yeah,
you have more
there's
consistent
not
like it goes.
really anything that's like absurdly broken, in my opinion, in the current list.
P2 and Wheezing are like towing the line because like
Yeah.
they are very very good. P2 being normal type has that access to a lot of very good stab moves. They both can go over any terrain except for through walls, but who
Mhm.
cares? Nobody wants to go through walls anyway if you're the leader.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the idea of just having like a side tournament or just like a different category where we do have the set uh list that you can choose from, and that's always going to be available, and then you can just pick like what you
Because like
think
there's so
is
many
the
like
meta.
it's not that there's anything wrong with having like hundreds of Pokemon to choose from.
Yeah.
The problem is everyone's combing that list for like one or two
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
names. Like there's just so much like filler. So many filler Pokemon. Like I feel like a competitive setting would benefit from just like like a standardized list. That way like it's less bullshit of like, oh, I didn't see it on the mail list. I didn't see that Pokemon or
Yeah.
that's why there's less complaining. Like, man, I looked at like 30 names and I missed this one just because you're glancing so quickly. You're trying to pick something fast.
Yeah.
And I understand that argument, but I'm still honestly like as a side mode, like sure, that's cool. But as the main mode, I would say the reason I value PMD so much as a speed game is because the runners just have so much game knowledge, and I think when you have a mediocre selection, being able to pick the best mediocre Pokemon is like it's a part of the game, in my opinion. I think it should stay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's hard to come up with a definite answer for shit
Yeah.
like this.
I mean, by default, it would be what Juice said, where like it is something that you can gain knowledge of. Like the Explorers of Sky stat tool is publicly available. FTCS made it. It's pinned in the Time Darkness Sky channel, or the Sky Rando channel, one of the two. And you could literally look up any Pokemon's growth there. So you could study how every Pokemon grows
Yeah.
and utilize that information to your advantage, which is what I did in my losers finals match.
Mm-hmm.
I picked a Pokemon that many people may not have picked, Pidgeotto, because it was just a better Starly that didn't die as often, and I won the match because of that. Because the only other Pokemon that was worth a damn was Regigigas, and apparently it was terrible.
Yeah, then that was the Zabu's match, right? Then he used Reggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that match was actually really interesting. But yeah, there's definitely a skill, and the tools are there to know the information about all these Pokemon. But there's just like so much to know that I don't think it would hurt to just get rid of some of them. So that's just less info you have to know, like just the bad ones. But I also don't want it to become trivialized.
I would only want to decrease the list from the bottom.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
that's
because
what
the
I'm
top
saying.
echelon of Pokemon are fine. Like, we don't need
Yeah.
fucking Armaldo in this list.
Right.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still in the list, but if he is, he shouldn't be, because he has a
Like
deceptively low.
11 base HP. It's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So, like we want to remove the trap Pokemon for sure.
Yeah.
Like, because there's so many Pokemon that like you think of them in main series and how fucking dominant they are, but in PMD they're no, stay away. Just those ones we want to get rid of.
Yeah,
So people aren't tempted.
It would just make it more balanced, just weeding those out, so people don't get screwed over.
And it would leave more good Pokemon to spawn in those lists, because
exactly.
those filler Pokemon are taking up spots.
They do take up a lot of spots sometimes. So yeah, those are ideas. That's all I have to say. I would probably vote to just get rid of some of the bad ones on the list, and yeah. But I do like the idea of a potential like second category where we have like that pick ban sort of, well, not pick ban, but that defined list that's always there, and then you pick. But that's just a whole different idea. All right, moving on. A way for Pokies to have more learn sets.
I actually read ahead on that one, and I thought of something that would be really interesting. I don't know if Cappy could actually integrate it or if it would be too difficult. But just like have the main series like move tutors. Like, you know how all the main series games have like move tutors, and it'll be like, oh, you have a Hitmonchan. Well, because it's a Hitmonchan, it can learn Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, even though it could never learn those naturally. If he could add that to Electivire, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I have no idea if anything like that is possible, but I like the idea. But when he says, like, when Zabu says have more like learn sets, does he mean like more move slots, more than 4? Is that
I think he just means like learn more moves,
okay?
not
So,
over 4.
so that like falls into the TM discussion
I
too.
think
then,
all
right?
Pokemon should start with 4 moves. I think that's absolutely valid and fair.
Yeah,
And it's
I absolutely
something
think
that
that.
we
Yeah,
see in main series randomizers too.
yeah, because it's bullshit. Like you could just only have 2 moves, and then like one of them is they're both like bad, and it's just like I either have to reset or work with this until like one new move. So I think that
I think it would
definitely.
also be interesting to have every Pokemon just by default comes with 4 moves.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
isn't that how Crystal works?
that is how
The
Crystal
Crystal
works.
Rando?
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't really see a reason unless it's like hard on Cappy to do it, because again, he's doing it out of the good of his heart. We're not paying him to do this. But if he could figure out a way to do that,
Matter of
that would
fact,
be
he,
really
he
cool.
paid us.
Yeah, he paid us to
Yeah.
do it.
Oh my god. But
Shout out to Cappy.
I definitely agree with having 4 moves at all times. Just be the default. And yeah. Next one, being able to create more than 1 seed at a time. That's just a randomizer thing. That'd be nice
Yeah.
because it just takes a while. But I don't know how that shit works.
I feel like we have a weird focus on Capybara right now, but again, we kind of are failing to consider that this wasn't made for us. Sky Temple was made for people that want to randomize PMD or customize PMD. And the randomizer tournament coming out of it was just kind of a side effect.
Yeah.
So like I understand why it doesn't exist. If you could make it work, that would be cool. If you can't, whatever.
Yeah, we are in no way entitled to any of what we're even saying right now, by the way, guys. This is like the fact that this tournament even exists using this program, like it's just so random, and Cappy didn't sign up for this. He kind of did. Well, he chose to get involved.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to, and he doesn't have to even listen to any of what we're saying right now. But it is just fun to discuss, like, oh, how could this be better? And things like that.
The code for Sky Temple Randomizer is completely open source, so it's not out of the question if Cappy, isn't able to, fix these things. Somebody in our community who knows a lot about coding could create a fork of the program.
True.
And
True.
make it like the PMD or speedrunning version of Sky Temple. So.
Yeah. Something like that. If anybody knows how to do that shit, I definitely don't. But yeah, that feature would be nice. But again, it's like we're not entitled to that at all. I don't even know if the program would allow that to work. Because like whenever you generate a seed, it takes like a long ass time for me. And my computer is pretty good.
Yeah.
It takes a sweet ass time to generate that.
Yeah, the randomizer loves that 96%.
Yeah.
It sits there for a long time.
The problem is the randomizer is randomizing a lot more than we get to see in the game.
True.
That's also true.
This patch is still the full version of Sky.
Right.
It just has everything else like tucked away and sealed off to where we can't see it.
Yeah.
But it's all there, and the randomizer is still working really hard to do it. Like every dungeon after Steam Cave, it's randomizing that. All the text and all the cutscenes that we don't get to see, it's randomizing all of that. It's randomizing mentions of Pokemon in future cutscenes. It's making sure all that stuff is packed neatly. Randomizing items in every single dungeon. It's doing a lot more work than what we see in the 30 minutes of gameplay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm fine with like the load times. Like it's not even a big deal for me. Would it be nice to have it shortened and fucking be able to do more than one seed at once? Yeah, but I'm not really asking for that. I'm just saying it would be a nice feature. That's all, And I think that's where everyone in the community at least can agree with. But moving on from that, more ability bands.
I mean,
Everyone,
yeah, hustle and gluttony add nothing to the game. Just basically makes what would be a good poke completely useless. Like, effectively, if you get Porygon 2 and it has hustle, you have to reset. It doesn't matter that Porygon 2 is good. You're not going to hit anything.
mhm.
It's just not very fun.
Yeah, get rid of like all the shit abilities for sure. I think just because like I don't even check the abilities, man. Like it's just
Right.
not.
Every time, every single fucking time. And against Jay, I might have lost if I didn't, because what happened was the first team that I ended up going with, the leader had Klutz.
Oh, okay.
So any held item I used, I was not able to utilize it, like a warp scarf or a goggle specs. And that actually happened to whom?
I hate that so
happened
much.
that happened to whom? I think against Kobral in winter semifinals.
Yeah.
His main had Klutz, so he had goggle specs on, but he couldn't see the hidden stairs
Mhm.
because it doesn't let you utilize the item in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Get rid of Klutz for sure, and just like any like some. I think there's a way to make it so that you don't necessarily have to check your abilities, but if you do, it'll give you an advantage if you know things, as opposed to, oh, if you don't check, you could be severely punished for it. Like, get rid of the punishment part, but add some reward factor. Is like what I'm trying to say. I don't know if that makes sense.
Another ability that is largely negative for the player and unfun is suction cups, because you can't warp scarf, you can't pure seed,
Oh
you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
warp
yeah.
seed out of a situation. But again, if the randomizer was to go farther into the game, and if we were to have rare fossils reduced later on in the game, you might want to keep suction cups around, just because it makes dealing with enemies a little bit more dynamic. Because it's like, oh, there's a, I don't know, like there's a wheezing in the hallway or something. I don't want to deal with it. I'm just gonna warp seed it because I don't want to rare fossil it. And then it's like, oh, it has suction cups. I have to deal with it. So that's an ability that is negative for the player, but I don't think I would want to remove that one.
Mm.
Yeah, it actually cost Lycan his match was a boost, kind of, because I don't remember what dungeon it was in, but it might have been against Jay. It was one of his last matches. He got very far into a dungeon, went all the way down to the corner, and like it was like here's the box, and like he went all the way down to like the left side around the whole thing, and it was a dead end. He had
Yep.
2 via seeds in his bag, and he could not use them
That's
Yep.
because
nuts.
he had suction cups.
Mm.
So he had to walk his ass all the way back, and lost a ton of time for it.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely a fan of getting rid of these bullshit abilities. That just like they don't even add anything to the game other than like hurt you. But I like what Juice was saying, because that's what we were talking about earlier, how we haven't even gone past Groudon yet, right? And we don't know how we're gonna progress like this format in the future if we're gonna go farther. I like you said again, that's like the most logical next step. So we don't know what's gonna be useful. Like something that could hurt us now could be useful later on in the run. If we go that far, you know. So it's hard to say. We would just need the experience of doing it first, I think. But
right, but I mean, hustle and gluttony just absolutely have no upside.
yeah,
I mean,
no,
Yeah.
shit like that.
technically
Especially if we
hustle has an upside, but it's so mitigated by just the negative, because the accuracy in PMD is already not great. Like there's no such thing as a fully accurate move except maybe Feint Attack.
Mm.
Especially if we start getting the randomizer farther into the game, gluttony is like, you can sort of get by with gluttony. You just have to rely on being a little bit lucky with your stairs luck. You're not going to be able to get by with gluttony if we extend
Tree
it to
Shroud
like,
Forest.
yeah, tree shroud. You're done. It doesn't matter how lucky you are. You can get half stair floors in tree shroud. You're still going to starve.
Yeah. And just to say what, or respond to what Shady's saying, I don't even know, like, we're just, like, talking hypothetically about it progressing, but I do agree that if it were to progress, then have it, like, be, like, harder and harder, just, like, different as you go on, because it does get super boring. So, like, I'm honestly a fan of, like, the 10 Blitz system. I think it's really good, but if we were to do another tournament where you actually had to, like, keep going farther, then just make it not fucking boring. But
So, Secure said there is actually an upside to Gluttony, apparently, where it gives you the IQ skill survivalist. And I read the description. The Pokemon's belly fills up more than usual from eating, and it may also resist the bad effects of eating grimy food. Apples aren't really that common, so
And grimy food doesn't exist.
yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting though.
yeah. The belly chance or the belly increase is only 10% rounded up. So, and even if grimy food was around, it's only a 50% chance to resist the effect.
I have no idea about that shit.
So, yeah.
All right, moving on. Maybe increase berry spawn rate. So
I think Oran berries and it's not a berry, but max elixirs. I mean, we keep bringing up that we might want to bring it farther into the game, but like, I don't know how else we're gonna apply these changes really, because I think everything as it is for this length of the game is fine. Is my opinion. But if we were to go farther, yes, we're going to need more items because the game gets harder. So Oran berries and max elixirs are definitely going to be more necessary. They need to be more common.
especially if we were doing what we were talking about with rare fossils, where we nerf them and make them less frequent, you're going to be using more moves, and you're going to need the PP. And max elixirs, as they are now with the spawn rate, I will sometimes find 1, 2 if I'm lucky in a run, but I never end up needing them, right? But the thing is, like, if you nerf the rare fossils and make them less frequent, then you're going to start needing shit like that. And things like the berries, like I see what's the deal with the wander gummies? Why are there wander gummies everywhere? I don't understand.
Wander gummies are like the most common item in the game.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm not like asking for more gummies.
I think there's something with the game about gummies being common because they're a food item, and we removed all the gummies except for the wander gummy. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I can check the what.
I think we kept like royal gummies or something. Like there was one regular gummy that existed.
I definitely have seen normal gummies, but it's just like there's just only wander, and then I never see like anything like I can't say like the berries that I found. I might have found like one pecha berry in my entire time playing. I don't know. I don't ever really need it. I don't even use berries that much in like the any percent run, but I think orange berries in specific, for me at least, should be upped. I do find citrus berries every now and then though, but yeah, get rid of like the random items, like not get rid of them, but just like do something with like the spawn rate of them. I don't know.
So the next point is something I'm very, very in favor of, because too often, actually, me versus Zavus, I won because I picked something I decided I was going male list only, and I found something on the male list that he didn't go for because he didn't reset and he only picked female. I think the list should be completely universal for a couple reasons. One, you can get females on the male list and males on the female list if you find species that are 100% one way or the other. And then there's also genderless Pokemon that can appear on those lists. So there's really no point for the differential because you're not guaranteeing yourself a female Pokemon by picking female.
True. Because like what I was going to say about that is like if you remove the male and female option, then you don't then you have to choose which one is more optimal,
Well, you can put the male and female option after you pick the Pokemon.
Oh,
so if it does have variants,
that would be doable. Yeah,
I like that idea. But then just don't, as long as it's an option still, because I don't want people to lose that freedom of choice, whether they prefer like male or female. But yeah, the fact that they're the completely different list and you can like miss something that just because your opponent picked like male instead of female, they got instead, is kind of rough. So I'm in agreement with that, and just having the option afterwards if that's at all possible. But I don't even know how that would be possible because I feel like it's really hard to do something like that. But maybe like, is it even possible to just have them be the same, like have the same list for both of them? and just have them be.
I think it's possible. Just the problem is in the base game, Riolu is male only. I think no, Skitty's not female only. I can't think of who else is. I think Chikorita might be female only. I'm not sure.
I think Eevee.
Eevee. Yeah, and this kind of ties into like the next thing the Zabu says. I kind of want to like talk about it as a whole. There is a thing in PMD naturally where if you pick a Bulbasaur as a starter, you're not allowed to have a Turtwig partner, and that does extend to PMD randomizer, where we thought it was the same. We thought it was where okay, this is what Bulbasaur randomized into, so you cannot pick what Turtwig randomized into. What we found out is it actually takes the types of whatever Pokemon you picked, and it says if you picked Metagross, you can't have a Steel type or a Psychic type as a partner.
Mm-hmm.
So that restricts your options a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it prevents you from taking something like, I don't know, if you want to run Arbok or something, you're never going to see Drapion or Stunky in the partner list. So,
is there any way that could be, or like, can that be overpowered, or is it just like there's no
I've
point
heard
to
there's a
it?
patch for it, but I don't know if it's built in. I don't know if it's built into to Sky Temple or not.
Well, what I mean is like, is there any like real reason that exists where it's just making sure you don't have like a completely busted team?
It's making sure also you don't have a bad team.
Yeah, I think
run into...
it probably originated. My headcanon is it originated when they were making Red Rescue Team, and one of the developers went into Mount Blaze with like Bulbasaur Trico, and they were like, "Fuck, this isn't doable."
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So I mean, yeah, I'm for removing that, but then I don't think there's a problem. But players are just going to have to know.
I think it's the most minor thing of things that we deal with. I mean, it unfortunately it prevents people from seeing really great Pokemon just because they belong to a certain type of what they already picked.
Right.
Because after a race is like, oh yeah, I had Porygon 2 as a partner. Man, I ran Pidgeot and I didn't get to see Porygon 2 because I picked a normal type and it's a normal type as well. Like it's a complaint from people.
Okay.
And I've heard there's a patch. We might be able to patch the beat Groudon ROM with it, but at that point, I don't know if it's compatible with Sky Temple. It'll just need to get tested for sure.
Mm. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that because at least give people the option, but also if you pick two of the same type and you're getting fucked in the dungeons because of it, like that's on you, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, it's a safety net for the players, for the casual players. I get that. But people that know what they're doing should have the ability to do that.
Yeah, it's good game design, but not great. We don't want it when we're doing this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Then the last point is a duplicate one, right?
Yeah, yeah, just less Sky Summit. Fuck Sky Summit. It's
so
the TLDR of this list.
He hates them so much he had to include it twice on the list. But yeah, that's all of Zabuse's points. I think that was a really good list. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I thought of. Do you guys have anything else that wasn't on the list?
I mean, like I said, I'm pretty much happy with where it is. If we're just going to Groudon, I think the rule set that we have is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just trying to think. I hope there wasn't something else, but I pretty much covered everything I had to say. Unless I think of something.
I wish maybe something we could do is I think there is a way to make an objective tier list for the Pokemon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like maybe we could have it incorporated into the game where like every Pokemon on the starter screen is given a letter grade. Like Drapion would be A, Starmie would be F.
That would be interesting.
Like,
well,
just so people have an idea. I understand it's not going to mean that your Pokemon's 100% great. It could have a terrible moveset. But like at least gives people that don't know what they're doing a place to start with deciding what to pick.
It's an interesting idea for sure. But also like that
it is subjective. I know.
Yeah. That's all I have to say. Well, that and it's like for sure a lot
it's
of
subjective
work
to a point. Like it's very clear and undisputable that a shitty Drapion is better than a great Starly. Like that's that's a fact. So it can be objective to a point. But yeah, when you get to the top level, when you get to like the top like 50 or top 100 Pokemon, they should all be the same letter grade because like they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
And shouldn't be, put over one another.
I just wouldn't want
Gets an
people.
H.
I just wouldn't want
If I
people
want to
like.
run Kecleon Armaldo, I'll run Kecleon Armaldo.
I think the worst thing that could happen though with that is just people don't pick certain Pokemon because it's like a B tier and on an A tier when it's actually like they might like it a lot and it's really good. But I mean, that's just gonna happen with tier lists anyway. It doesn't matter if it's in the fucking game or not.
Case in point with that, Cheese's baby, Service Fish, Lantern, realistically, going up to Groudon, we'd probably say it's like a B, like maybe B minus, but people might really like Lantern because it gets really fucking strong later in that run. Like at level 15, it's top 10 in the game. It's ridiculous.
And it's hard even, like tier lists are so hard to do for this game especially, I think, because if we changed like back to rare fossils, if we change the spawn rate of that, like that alone determines like certain Pokemon's fucking tier or
well,
spot
maybe
on the tier
not
list.
maybe not having this within the game itself, but in the Crystal community, we do have the Crystal Bingo tier list where the tier list assumes that it has 2 great moves and whatever its prominent attacking set is. For physical attackers, that's Drill Peck Earthquake, and for special attackers, that's Thunderbolt Ice Beam. So it assumes that every Pokemon has those 2 moves, and then they're ranked that way.
Okay.
So maybe it shouldn't be in the game because that could mislead people to pick something that has literally no moves to call on. But
yeah, I mean,
I think it's something we could benefit from.
I like the concept. It's just like tier lists in general, especially for this game. Like, everyone is so dependent on like the items that you get. So like a shit Pokemon is actually could be good with the rare fossil spawn rate that we have now. So it's just that's as we change shit. If we change shit with things like that, we're gonna see like the tier list changing. Like bad people becoming good people not being as high valued as they once were. I think shit like that. So
that's one thing that I would go back and change if I had like foresight into what would happen when I made that tier list, because effectively when I made the tier list, it was, first of all, it was like 2 a.m. I was super tired. And I was just looking at level 5 base stats because I didn't have the full stat tool on me at the time. And I was just looking at it at like 2 a.m. and I was like, I cannot just sit and stare at a spreadsheet of stats and memorize them, because that's not how my brain works. And also, I was in Finn's chat at the time, and I was like, I don't trust this motherfucker to sit and stare at a spreadsheet. I don't think he's gonna do it.
I'm not gonna.
So I made a tier list, and it was just based on level 5 base stats, and I think it got taken way too seriously.
It did, because like yeah. I mean, but it was such a good
people were running Zubat because I put Zubat in S tier because Zubat is very good. It has very good stats. You just need to be able to get moves on it. It only starts with 1. And people were like legit pissed because they were like, you said Zubat's good. It has 1 move. It has Leech Life. And I'm like, dude, like,
I mean, I think you did the community a great service making that, but like
it's a great starting point. But if you want to be a higher level in this game, you need to put in the work to research the stats yourself.
Yeah, like I myself am guilty of not. The only stats I checked, like I did check some stats. Can you guess the only 2 Pokemon I really
Aggron?
No, well, I did check that after.
Sandshrew.
Yeah. I just needed to know Sandshrews and Sandslash's sets. They went on the tier list, and I was like, oh my god, wait, they're not bad, because like I went and checked the stats, but like if you check the stats, you're gonna have like that information where, you know, like if you like have a bunch of basic mons and there's like nobody like an S tier or whatever the fuck, you need to know like the actual base stats of these other guys that are on the list. But everybody, well, not everybody, but I think a majority of people are very reliant on that tier list, which isn't a bad thing. I think it was really nice and helpful.
It was only like
to everybody.
The first 2 weeks that everyone was kind of all over it. Like after a certain point, everybody, after everybody got like 40 completed seeds in, like people were like, okay, this is an okay reference, but like there's probably more better Pokemon out there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can actually pull up the official JuiceboxCommando tier list. I mean, let's
Yeah.
pull it apart on
Yeah,
stream.
the official JuiceboxCommando tier list from, mind you, before match 1 of the tournament had even started. Average times from good players were like 40 minutes at this point. So it was early.
Here it is. Okay. I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Thank you.
Probably maybe show it on stream. I don't know if it'll show up.
Well,
never mind.
because it's not words, it'll show. So we got pictures.
There we go. So, I think it's important to start with who is on the bottom, or who is not at the top of this tier list that deserves to be. In my opinion, just looking, Krogunk. Krogunk is one of the best Pokemon in the game.
Yep.
Remoraid.
Yeah,
Remoraid is
Remoraid.
also-
I don't know about Remoraid specifically, just because it starts with 1 move and it takes a while to get another one. But Octillery, absolutely,
I'm gonna be like
Mhm.
right back, by the way. So continue.
because
Okay.
Octillery is like effectively it has the same stats as Remoraid, but it starts with 4 moves, so it's just better.
Mhm. I also recall Magmar and Magmortar being pretty good.
I have not even tried to run those, so I couldn't tell you.
Darkrai. Darkrai has a lot of versatility, being the only non-ghost type that can walk through walls
Yep.
naturally, and he actually has decent stats to boot as well. Who's at the bottom that does not deserve to be at the bottom? I'd say Gibble. Gibble's not super awesome, but he's not C tier.
Yeah, apparently Magneton needs to be bumped up if we learned
He-
anything.
Yeah, he won. I mean, I didn't watch the match, but Makuhita. Makuhita's insane. It has one of the highest.
Wait, did I
attack
put
stats of anything.
Makuhita in C?
No, you put it Makuhita in A.
Oh, I put it as the top of A. Makuhita and Hariyama could both be S for sure, yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of these Pokemon I didn't get a chance to run.
Yeah.
Oh, Chatot is an A as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it could be bumped up. I'm trying to think of stuff that maybe isn't even on the list that was just like a menace.
I think starters were kind of implied to be at the top. Oh, Stunky's
Yeah.
an A. Stunky's
Oh
an
yeah,
A.
Stunky's like one of the best Pokemon in the game. It should be S.
Mm-hmm.
Starters, I didn't put any of the starters on the tier list because they didn't meet the criteria. When I was making this, I was only listing things that had over 100 BST at level 5. The starters, there is not a single starter that has that. None of them do. But starters are incredibly reliable in this just because people, it's like if you're doing the randomizer, you probably run PMD, which means you're extremely familiar with how starters work and what damage they do.
Yeah, this is a
Which
game that is designed for a Cyndaquil and a Turtwig to defeat Dialga.
Yeah.
Like that's the game engine we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
But I mentioned
So,
Magmortar earlier, but I didn't
starters-
really have anything to back it up with. Magmortar's stats aren't the best, but it has probably one of the fastest EXP curves of any
Oh,
Pokemon.
okay.
So just because at level 10, may not have the same stats as everybody else at level 10, it gets to level 10 and beyond a lot faster than any of these other Pokemon will even see level 10.
I see another Pokemon that needs to be bumped up at least to high A, if not S, Drowsy. Drowsy is ridiculous. Drowsy was my first. It wasn't a sub 30 because, and I should have kept playing because I could have got a sub 30. But Drowsy is my first one that I was like, that should have been a sub 30, but I kind of got fucked. Drowsy is ridiculous. Learns moves extremely regularly, has 4 to start, and it has ridiculous stats. It's really good.
Where are we right now? Are we still in S8 tier?
We're just kind of
basically
talking about
just
it.
jumping around, really.
Okay.
Smoochum, I've had really good experiences with. Grumpig.
Smoochum, for anybody who's not aware, Smoochum is considered baby's first purity forest run because Smoochum is ridiculous at low levels.
Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of people having success with Zangoose.
Did you
Yes,
guys talk about
Zangoose was
the?
very common.
Did y'all talk about the legendaries at all?
People are saying Zapdos needs to be kicked out of S tier, and I kind of agree.
It's like for my money, I think legendaries in general, like if you're gonna use them, you have to pray you get like the good moves on them.
Yeah.
Because like their base stats are sick, but like the level up and stuff is not that good, right? So
I think when I made this tier list, it was supposed to be for leaders, and with that in mind, most of the legendaries don't break B tier. But as partners, most of the legendaries are sick. Like Ho-Oh and Zapdos, if you have that as a partner, you can do whatever the hell you want. They're not dying.
I think especially as partners, it's important what moves they have. With starters, it doesn't matter as much because of the rare fossils, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think legendaries, like you said, probably B tier, if anything.
I mean, we've seen some good results with Porygon Z. I don't think Porygon Z stats are that great, but
Porygon
I think-
Z is I mean, just you can tell just by the comparison of where they are. I have Porygon 2 is one of the best in the game, and Porygon Z is in the middle of B. It's significantly worse, but it's still not bad.
oh, Hippowdon. Hippowdon has fantastic base stats. It probably should at least be A, I think.
Yeah, I could see Hippowdon.
Can we talk about these boys being here, by the way?
Yeah,
Which
where's
ones?
Agron? I don't see him.
Yeah,
Oh.
where's Agron?
Agron didn't make the cut. I don't think Agron has greater than 100 base stats.
Only a fool would use Agron.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous if someone used Agron, especially in tournament.
Actually, a cretin, you know?
Yeah, when they were provided a tier list to study with.
Dude, in my defense, like I know like you can't trust the fully evolved versions in this game,
There was
but
a
like
Slugma and an Agron on my team. There's not really a way out of this, unfortunately. I had to sit there for like 40 minutes and look at those fucking things and pick one. You made me pick one. Be like, which one of these teams are better suited? I hate them both.
You really made Halq say, because he was commentating, he had to pick which one was better. He couldn't avoid it. He had to say this one is better, and here's why.
you want the Slugma, right?
That's the only time.
Yep,
Slugma and
Slugma.
Agron. It's the only time Slugma and better we're gonna be in the same sentence ever.
Yep.
Time Slugma could be better.
The main thing, like, but more on that, like after like I finished that match, and I was like, oh, I would never use Slugma because like I had used it before, and like
you're above using Slugma. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, what I'm getting to is that like use the tier list as a base reference, but try all these guys out for yourself, even the ones that aren't on it, because like I learned firsthand that Slugma was bad. I never got the experience with Agron, so I didn't know. Experience.
Right, but a tournament match for money is not your trial grounds. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Well, no,
that's where you stick with the hard information you have, or if you're not sure, pull up the stat tool, type in the name.
I missed whoever was good on that list for Derek. I
don't think there was anybody good on that list, to be quite honest. To be fair to you.
No. We talked about it. There was Reggie Ice. I remember because of the demo review, but there's Quilava like Reggie Ice, and like there's one other person that would have been way better. But anyway, moving on from that.
Yeah, and we had mentioned it while you were gone, but if you're not comfortable with anything on the list, you're running randomizer. We're assuming you've run PMD before. Pick a starter if it's on there. You know what they do.
True. Yeah. If the starter is on there, the only problem is like when you get picking the like evolved versions of it, because people will pick those.
Actually, so the evolved starters are actually completely indistinguishable.
Really?
Any other form. It's completely cosmetic.
Where did I hear?
I believe
that they were bad.
I believe they learn. I think the only thing that may be different is when they learn moves, because typically later evolved Pokemon get their moves later than if you keep them as a base, because the original Pokemon games reward you for keeping them as the base level by giving you their better moves earlier.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like I've studied their growth. Like I looked at all their growths and really closely, and they don't change. They have the same XP curve. They have the same stat growth. Like at level 100, they have all the exact same stats.
Okay, that's good to
No
know.
matter what form they're in, but it's just move sets. So
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I forget which match it was, but even the commentators commentating when somebody picked, like, oh my god, it might have been Septile and like Blaziken or some shit. It was something like that. And they're like, oh, like this is not good because they're fully evolved. Like people just like assume that they're bad, myself included, like I said.
And it's
so.
like, it's understandable that you would jump to that conclusion if you haven't looked at the stats, because like that is generally the rule. Just because of how PMD works, generally a fully evolved Pokemon is going to have lower base stats because you run into a lot of fully evolved Pokemon earlier on in the game.
Hmm.
So they have to have lower stats so that Turtwig and Charmander can kill them.
True. Yeah, I think, yeah, if a starter is on that list and you don't know what to pick, I would definitely say go with them. What's with the don't? Like, I understand these guys are bad, but why did you specifically like pick these three to be in don't?
These ones they fit the criteria. They had greater than 100 base stat total at level 5, and they had greater than, I think it was like 18 in their favorite attacking stat. But
I can tell you what's wrong with Beldum. Beldum will never learn another move.
Yep, Beldum will never learn another move. Abra does not learn another move until what, like 16? Which you're done with the ROM by 16. So if they don't have good moves, don't use them. And by good moves, I mean if they don't have good move.
True.
And Wailmer is just like, it fit the criteria because it's a giant ball of health. That's the only reason. It has garbage attacking stats. It doesn't grow.
My next question for you is there anybody that you would add to the don't tier now with all this experience?
Starly.
Yeah, Starly's a trap. It has good attacking stats. I don't even think it made it on the tier list though, because its base stats are low. But Starly's a big trap because people see it in Mount Bristle. It is by far, bar none, the biggest threat in Mount Bristle when you're like just playing the game normally, because it has stab, quick attack. It does like 30 damage. So people see Starly and they're like, "Oh, it's sick." No, don't take it.
That was my exact reasoning for picking it in Winners Finals.
It's an understandable reasoning. It's just like, obviously, when you're running, you don't recruit a Starly, so you don't see what it's like at level 15. It's not pretty.
In chat, we have Secure saying Rhyperior.
I don't know. Is Rhyperior on there anywhere? I don't think it is. So realistically, it probably just didn't even meet the base stat 100. So yeah. And yeah, Secure account saying if you see any early game poke, don't pick it. Yes, correct. Because again, PMD is balanced around Turtwig and Charmander beating Dialga. So if you see something in the early game, it's probably not good because they have to be able to beat it in the early game.
That's actually a really good fucking... Wow, I wish I knew this. I love that tip. Huh.
With exceptions being bosses, because obviously Zubat, ridiculously good. Coughing, ridiculously good. Drowsy, also insane.
Yeah, the funniest thing that happened in the tournament is somebody took that advice, Juice, but they didn't. They took Skuntank. But they didn't know that you never fight Skuntank in the entirety of Swords of Sky.
You never fight Skuntank, baby. He just literally dies on the floor in Brine
And I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't think Lycanet would be happy if we brought that to attention in this podcast.
Oh shit, bro.
Come on, bro.
Why you gotta do him like that? But I think that, like we were talking about removing people from the list going forward, we need the don'ts are the first to go. So whoever we can actually put in the don't tier list, get them the fuck out of here.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I feel like if we do implement every Pokemon starts with 4 moves, Abra and Beldum aren't that
Oh yeah,
terrible.
if
option.
Oh,
if we
really?
implement 4 moves, then Abra and Beldum functionally becomes Metang. It has like the same stats.
So yeah, that fucking changes things. So like I was just saying earlier, that it depends what we're gonna
Yeah, whatever
change.
settings we can add or whatever features we can add that make more Pokemon viable, we'd love to do that.
It's
And
gonna
also,
shake
I'm
the
not
whole
gonna
tier list up.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. We talked about how we would bump Zapdos down. If we give Zapdos 4 starting moves, it's staying in S. I'm not moving it.
True.
Zapdos?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It just depends what the moves are. Like I said, I don't know. But well, how hard do you think it would be? Oh, well, I'm asking the wrong fucking people. I need to ask Cappy directly. But like in Crystal, right? You guys have it so that they at least get 2 good moves or like usable moves out of the 4, right?
So that's actually another option that's in the main series randomizers.
Mhm.
It's a good damaging move percentage. They have like a percentage. You can manually slide the percentage of how likely they are to have a good damaging move, which is basically just above a certain threshold of power, and not like a 2-turn attack like Solar Beam. So maybe that's something that Cappy could implement as a feature. Once again, this is just something that he would have to do, have the kindness of his heart, and not something we should necessarily expect or put our hopes on.
Yeah.
But just to branch off of the Abra Beldum thing, just the changes, the 2 simple, I don't want to say simple, but just for the sake of the argument, the 2 simple changes of all Pokemon start with 4 moves and full TM compatibility would just change so many Pokemon. Like it would
Mhm.
make Delibird better because Delibird can't learn anything except present. It would make Beldum and Abra better. It would make legendaries better. Like there's it would change the game completely.
Yeah. I
Delibird with Pluck would be a menace. And Pluck's a
Is this a
TM.
tier list for every Pokemon has a protagonist partner? This was intended as a tier list for the probable likelihood of a Pokemon being good in a randomizer as a leader.
Mm-hmm. It is
But
a level 5 base stat tier list for leaders specifically.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think this could be definitely expanded upon. I don't think anybody should take this as gospel, no matter how advanced and how
No, absolutely
researched
not.
it becomes, because at the end of the day, you should be doing your own research. But I think this is
Mhm.
a great starting point for people wanting to get into the randomizer and possibly,
Yeah.
just like you see like 30 options, you don't know what to pick. So you look at this and you see, okay, Hypno's there. I'll pick Hypno. And you can actually have a functional experience without hating your life. So it's an entry point. That's
Yep.
it.
And just to reiterate, fucking unless you guys have any more thoughts on the tier list in specific, because then we're gonna move on. But we're not entitled to any of these changes that we're talking about. Cappy can do this on his own free will if he chooses. He doesn't have to at all. We can also do it ourselves if anybody knows how. So don't like fucking be hounding him to do it or complaining about it when we're not entitled to it. And that's all I gotta say. But unless you guys don't have anything else to say about the tier list in specific, let's.
No, I think that was very conclusive with the tier list.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, Tropius was C tier.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention that. Tropius
I
is
still-
the
I
tank
would-
god.
For the intents and purposes of this tier list, I agree with you. It should probably be in don't. However, as a partner,
be in don't?
Tropius, yeah, it's not good. It can't attack
It's not an
anything.
attacker, no. But as a partner.
But as a partner, it's functionally the same thing as Ho-Oh in Zapdos. If you can leave that thing alone and it can be in a room with 8 Pokemon, it's not dying. It will not die.
That makes sense.
All right. Well, moving on from that, I went
Oh,
to.
sorry. One more thing. Politoed
Yeah.
is in
One
C
more
tier.
thing. One more thing.
Politoed is in C tier.
What's
Throughout
up with Politoed?
I'm pretty sure Politoed is one of the best Pokemon in the game, but let me double check that before
Oh, okay.
making that claim officially.
I mean, yeah, again, level 5 base stats. I didn't even have the growths pulled up. I wasn't even thinking about the growths at the time, so it probably grows absurdly fast.
And like it's just like I'm pretty sure by the time it hits like level 10 or 11, it's within the top 10 percentile for every stat, if I'm not mistaken.
So you're saying this because Politoed doesn't end the tier list at all? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's in
It's
C
on
tier.
C. It's towards the bottom of C. Yeah, bottom row, third item.
Yeah, look at this. Hold on, let me take a screenshot. Just so you can show the people. Let's stop at 22. This is the Polytoad base stat growth.
I don't even know why I put it at... Oh, because that's 7, not 5.
Hopefully you guys can actually see this. I don't know if you can read
That's
the
a 7.
numbers.
Even if you can't read the numbers, green in the spreadsheet is good. The brighter green it gets, the better it is.
Damn.
Yeah, that probably just looks like a green square to the chat room.
Dear
which
God.
means it's fantastic. And the bottom of this is level 22, which is a level you're only going to get to if you have golden seeds.
Just looking at the HP value, I bet it got the same treatment that I gave the Pidgey family, where it's like it's a good attacker, it has good stats like largely all around, but its HP is just not reliable at level 5 was probably my reasoning.
Polytoad, combined with the fact that it's a water type and can walk over water, which is a very common obstacle in dungeons, I personally think it's a top 3 Pokemon in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So just to point out another thing where it's like, don't trust the tier list, do your own research.
Yep. My
It's
boys.
just like that. That's the showcase and point. Polytoad and C tier, I think, is the thing to kind of persuade you to do that.
My boy Sandshrew, I would argue for as well. But,
My boy Sandshrew.
He's like just outside the fucking the blue. He's just outside the blue because it was like blue, right? That you're basing it off. If the fucking the final stats were blue or something like that.
It was based at level 5. They had to have their favored attacking stat had to be over 17, and they had to have over 100 total.
Okay. All right. Well, that's enough tier list discussion and like idea discussion for the tournament and rule set and stats and all that shit. We're done with that. What we're gonna get into now is the community aspect of things, and just more over the tournament in general and the future. So
I'm gonna be honest. Throughout this event, we didn't really have as many people join the Discord as I would have expected.
yeah,
especially given the viewership we had at times. But just the fact that at one point, at least, I don't know how Grand Finals viewership was. I wasn't there because I was playing. I didn't get to see how many viewers we had. We had 600 viewers for winners semifinals, Kobral versus whom.
yeah, that was like the most viewed one, right? Which was crazy.
I reckon, yeah. If
because I don't
didn't get more.
No, I don't think Grand Finals even reached that number. So I'm pretty sure for whatever reason that match was the most viewed.
Well,
but
the reason was that it was on the front page of Twitch.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So when people log in or people go onto twitch.tv and they're not logged into an account, that's one of the 6 streams that are like cycling that they see. Was one of them was speed gaming.
Gotcha.
So it definitely gave us a boost to our viewership at that moment. But like I said, just because we didn't have people join the Discord doesn't mean it was a bad thing or it was a failure. We have more people that know about this now.
Yeah.
And word of mouth is probably more powerful than any other marketing technique out there.
Yeah, for sure.
I already know several people that are like fucking that didn't enter that are gonna enter next time. So
I think it's also worth mentioning that very much in commentary when we were advertising the Discord and stuff at the end of runs, it was very much advertised as a speedrunning Discord. So people who were like, hey, this is really cool, I enjoy watching this, weren't necessarily like, oh, this is the place to be if I want to watch this. Because it's like, it was kind of advertised a little bit poorly as the place where you go if you want to learn how to do it, rather than this is where everybody congregates that enjoys it in general.
And maybe the advertising could have been a bit better on that front then. But how do you know how many new people we actually got?
When did this tournament start? Does anybody have the date? I can just kind of do a head count.
It was towards the end of October. I don't remember exactly when.
I'll tell you right now. It was the 23rd was the first match.
23rd. Okay, so Let's see. We had about 50 people join throughout the life of the tournament.
That's not bad, to be honest.
And I know that sounds like a pretty big number, but this is a Discord that currently has 1,066 people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that much of a percentage growth as I probably would have liked to have seen. It's not really the fault of anybody. It's just like, it's unfortunate. But hopefully next time we can try to
chill more.
One thing we're missing with this tournament that other tournaments I've prepared have had is a commentator guideline, commentator resource, where like some people don't know what to say at the end of a match, and I would be frantically DMing people, make sure to plug the Discord, make sure to save in the next matches, make sure to do this. I was DMing like every commentator every time there's a match, like make sure you do this, make sure you do that. But that's something we should have in a Google document that commentators read on if they're struggling for things to say, like just tips and pointers for commentary. Because that's the voice they hear while they're watching this go on, and if they enjoy what they're hearing, they're more likely, I think, to enjoy what they're seeing. So
yeah,
no, it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. Like, it's not something that, it's sometimes just something that doesn't come to mind, and that's perfectly valid.
Fucking
especially
it's abuse. How dare you, bro?
Yeah.
But yeah, next time if we get
sign-ups closed on the 20th. I know that because I got a message from Finn on the 23rd.
What do you mean? Wait, oh, he said
Anthem.
that. Oh shit, that's rough. Yeah, I forgot. Oh well, that's your fault, Anthem, for not paying attention and being a ghost. No one.
Finn, speaking of not paying attention, you almost got fully DQ'd from the tournament unless I messaged you.
I signed up though. I signed up months in advance.
You at least signed up, yes.
Anthem. No one knew. No one knew where this guy was for years. Anthem. Anyway.
I thought he turned into a bot because he was always in my chat.
He has
never said anything. I thought he just kind of withered away into a Twitch bot.
He literally has like some, I don't know what he does, but he has some bot that is just always in every like stream that he moderates, I think. And then if he gets like if his name gets mentioned, he gets like a desktop notification or like a sound will play. So
fuck, I should do that.
That's whack.
Anytime and instead, bro, I thought you were like doing fucking serving in Afghanistan or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, so it would have been dope to get new people involved. We at least got 50. Let's shoot for more next time. But let's talk about the new players for a second. And when I say players, I don't mean like that just randomly joined. I'm including like a year. Like I'm talking like Zabuse, like someone is in there too.
Yeah, so we have a couple people that are like I would consider to be high profile content creators in the community. We have namely Whom and Cheese are probably our biggest content creators, and those are the people that they're first going to be introduced to, or most likely to be recommended to when they look for a Pokemon Mystery Engine stream, because they're always grinding it and they're always streaming it, and they have a rather big platform already, and people are more likely to click on streams that already have a big number on it. So they are a very fantastic gateway into our community, I believe. And I believe that's how a lot of people got interested in this. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are running PMD now in 2021 that can say, yeah, I watched Cheese in 2018. He made me want to run this.
Yeah.
Because for specifically for Whom, I remember Whom said he found one of my runs on YouTube or something, like maybe a Sky run I did on YouTube, because for some reason one of my runs was like super algorithm favored. And like he said, man, that looks cool. I want to run that. So it is the power of content creation and, I don't want to say abusing algorithms, but making sure the algorithms work in our favor that get people to see these things and get invested and be interested in trying it.
I would love to know where, like, how these like guys got invested. Like, what streamer got you into like PMD? Because like for me, it's Whom, but I think it'd be really interesting, especially for the newer runners, because I don't know, like Whom, for example, he doesn't do PMD as much anymore, so like I don't know who is the go-to guy for like these new people coming in. and
Yeah, because
being like,
Cheese has been taking quite a bit of a break as of very, very recently.
yeah,
But since whom, branched off and started doing main series Pokemon games, I would say it was Cheese at that point. And now I'm trying to think of who the biggest content creator is. I mean, Epinuma seems to have a pretty big following.
he
Every time
he
there's a
does.
match,
I think.
he's got a fan base.
See, like fuck all the Spanish people. We just need to get the Dutch fan base. That's going to be our third community.
Yeah.
We have the English, the
Hell
Japanese,
yeah.
and then the Dutch. That's essentially what, like, we have that. Like, the Dutch fan base is literally, I'm not even joking, I feel like it's as big as the Japanese one. Like, I'm basing this off of the viewers that I see in like Shiguma's stream. And
Oh yeah, Shiguma is a really big content creator for PMD. Now he's only,
Yeah.
he's a Japanese runner, so people in NA or people outside of Japan can't really connect with his content much. But I don't moderate the Japanese PMD community. I'm in their Discord because they do actually have a separate Discord server. But it's growing. There's some growth there. So.
And it was actually while Halk was doing runs last night, it was brought up that he's not in the speedrunning community, but apparently Picaspri is doing a lot of PMD stuff, so that could be bringing in new people potentially.
Yeah. Oh my god, who said that? Oh, who was like, I think I was watching your stream, Help. Like, somebody came in and was like,
Yeah,
I
it was last
watched
night.
I watched I don't even know, I didn't even know who that guy was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They ended up subbing like right before they left.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Cool.
I had to literally Google that person's name though, because I don't know who they were.
Oh, you
Picasso.
didn't know who
they do
Picaspri was?
No.
They do like Purity Forest runs just like Whom does.
Are
I
they
don't know
like
if they were inspired by
in?
Whom or they started before?
Are they in our like Discord server? Like, do we?
I don't
Like,
think so.
I mean, I can
So because
search,
like I never heard of this guy, so I'm assuming he's not actually involved with us.
He's not really involved with us, but he is bigger, and like just based on the amount of PMD that he's apparently been playing, he might be interested. If
He might
someone
as
reached
well
out
be.
to
Like,
him.
he's a fucking only dude.
If his name is Pika Spray on Discord, he is not in our Discord. But there have been people that have come through our scene, like Mystic Umbreon, which I think I mentioned in the last episode of the podcast.
Yeah, he did. He made a pit stop for a little bit.
I was about to say,
this
guy sounds like the new Mystic Umbreon, except he's not actually involved with us yet.
Right. I mean, getting him involved would be, great for our scene, I think, because
get him in the next tournament. Legit.
Yeah,
like, get this guy in the next tournament.
I mean, this would be another instance of it's his own, the kindness of his heart, if he wants to. But, like, it could, shine a spotlight on other runners. It could, bring attention to more of our events, possibly bring in new people. Because everyone's got a story for where they came from. I mentioned last time about how Jirachi got into the scene, and it's probably the craziest story.
I love that story
of anybody. But everybody has a way to get in, and the more ways we have open for people to get in, the better. Because last thing we want is to like have limited avenues, close off avenues. Like the more people we have streaming, which is why I think the stream pings channel is very, very important. Because it gives people a chance to build their brand, build a following, and then also it gives people that are coming into our Discord for the first time somewhere to look and see, oh, this guy's doing a run right now, let me go watch. Because sometimes it can be very hard to find runs on Twitch, because we don't favor smaller streamers, which that's unfortunately what a lot of our community is, small streamers.
I think that stream ping channel also just helps a lot with the newer runners specifically, not even people viewing, just because to be honest, if you're just running Sky and you don't tell anybody, Cheese isn't going to find you. He's not going to be able to help you while you're running. I was able to get into Sky so easily because I was in Cheese's chat and he answered questions about the game. And then when I started my first runs, he was like, hey, I've got a day off. I wasn't planning on doing a run. I'll just sit here and watch you and tell you what you need to do because you need help.
Literally,
the game is a lot. You need help.
Same. It's so crazy. Literally same experience. My first run, Cheese was in my chat for, I think, essentially the entire thing. Like, he didn't know who I was. He just fucking pulled up. And I was like, oh my god, you're fucking, you're number 2 in the world.
Cheese never wanted to stream. Cheese recorded his first run on a crappy potato. It took a month to verify because we couldn't fucking see what was going on. And it was just suddenly world record on his first submission. We're like, okay, we gotta fucking look through this. And then afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna record another run today." I'm like, "Fucking stream, dude! Like, it's so much easier. You're just creating so much extra work. You have to sit there and point the thing. You have to stop the thing. You have to upload the thing. Like with a stream, it's just constantly going."
Yeah.
And I'm glad he did. It was probably the greatest decision he ever made. I reckon.
hmm
And it was a great decision for our community. Now, Cheese getting into our scene in the first place, I think he might have seen Kobral's super run. I think that's how he got in because he mentioned it a lot in his first submission. But Cheese is a fantastic, fantastic helper. Like he understands this game. I want to say more than anybody in any game in the series. Like he just has a knack or an interest in learning everything about this game, and he puts this into. You can really read this in the guides that he makes for the game, which make the game significantly easier to get into. Because otherwise, it's like ask the runners, who half of us are fucking dumbasses anyway and don't know what the fuck we're doing. And it's like, so how do you do this part? I just fucking do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He has
You look in their direction and press LA is generally what I do.
he has the explanation and like is able to explain it. And
Like I use Cheese's Time and Darkness guide, even though I've been running Time and Darkness for 8 years. Just because it's or not 8 years, 7 years. Just because it's extremely helpful because it's a route I'm not fully familiar with yet, and he has like a beginning part where it's like, okay, this is the moveset you're going to end with. This is all the times you're going to link. And he has like before the run even starts, he has frequently asked questions. Which platform is fastest? Is emulator allowed? Is Sky the same as Time Darkness? How long does this run take? How many items should you use in every dungeon? How do mission days work? Any big run killers? Like he goes on and on and on. And then he goes on to useful button shortcuts. This is how you use moves quickly. This is how you do this is how you skip the floor transitions. This is how you open the item menu as fast as possible. It's so chock full of anything that anybody could ever want as a resource for running these games.
yeah.
I have no reservations about saying that Cheese has probably put the most effort in our community into these games as anybody else.
hmm
Just the amount of effort he's put in has been fantastic. He's helped everybody for years.
Yeah, that's someone who truly cares. And
Like
it's
if
just
there
like,
is a lifetime achievement award for PMD, it's going to Cheese.
Yeah.
When we're all old and gray, like he's getting the lifetime achievement award for just carrying the whole fucking community on his back and getting people involved with runs. Like I would not have been able to do his super route without his guide. I would not have been able to do the new Sky route, the new Darkness route without his guide.
Yep.
And it inspired me to make my own guide, or kind of, for the changes I was making to Gates of Infinity involving the challenge board. So, I mean, it's a great template for making a speedrun guide of any game. It's fantastic. The only thing it's missing is possibly like GIFs for movement, like an overworld movement and stuff. But like PMD doesn't really have that much overworld movement, so it's not.
Yeah, it's all fairly simple, and even if you like mess up your overworld movement, as long as you're not going to the wrong place, it's like the movement is so fast in the overworld, it doesn't matter if you mess it up.
I'm pretty sure Whom did the first recruit 'em all of BRT because when Whom got in the community, it was kind of like how Finn got in the community. I'm like, this guy's going too hard. He's going to burn himself out and leave us and never come back. Like, because Whom would just do BRT runs and he took all the records really quickly. And then this motherfucker did all icons with no Wonder Mail. I think that might have been the first time anybody did all icons. I'm not entirely sure about that. So I was watching him like, fuck this guy. I don't know if he knows what he's doing, but he's going to hate this game. He's not going to want to play it anymore. Like, I didn't trust the man to like the game anymore. I was like, he's making a mistake and he's going to leave us. But I don't know. I get worried watching people do that because I'm like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to leave us forever. You're going to hate this.
And I think the main point to all of this is that you don't have to be a Cheese and like be making guides and like being there all the fucking time for people and answering every question. You don't have to have like the insane game knowledge that he has. But like if I see a new runner like streaming, I'm in that chat. And I think everyone here could also do the same thing where it's just like support the new runners. Even just if you're not even saying anything in the chat, just being like a viewer is important because it just gives them the motivation to continue.
Yeah, when Lycanube was doing his first run, me, Kobral, and everybody that was in the Skype group at the time all went into his chat and started spamming like words of encouragement and stuff. And he didn't have his fucking chat open until he finished the run.
Wait, no way! I didn't
And
know it.
he
That's
looked back and
crazy.
he's like, "Oh, hi, fuck, there are people here. Hi."
That's
And then we sent him a
crazy.
link to the Skype, and then we socialized the boy, and he turned into quite the proper young man.
I had no idea, man. That's nuts. Like yeah, that's how, like I just said, that's how I got Anthem in the community. He wasn't even speedrunning. I just fucking, I essentially harassed him into joining. I was just in his chat. Like, my story is like, I just got out of class, and I was sitting in my car, and I was just like looking at Twitch before I started driving, and I saw he was live. I was just browsing the Sky thing on Twitch. I was just hopped in there for like 20 minutes. And I was just like, hey, like, I don't even know what I said, but I somehow convinced this man to get involved with us. So I'm not saying like fucking go and harass people, but if you see someone new that's streaming and running the game, go in their chat, just like be there, be a familiar face, be welcoming. We're already like a very welcoming community.
So just to branch off that really quickly, make sure you follow all of the categories of all
Yeah.
these games on Twitch.
Yeah.
It makes it really easy to find new runners and find people, to possibly recruit into our community. Because I know, our Discord's kind of out there now. For Skype, you had to be manually invited into a group, but Discord just makes it a lot easier with a permanent link that anyone can join. But if you're following the communities, the categories on Twitch mobile, it's at the very top of your app and it's really big. You can kind of like scroll through all the games and it'll show you how many viewers each category has. And if you see viewers, it's like, oh, somebody's streaming this. And you may find people that are doing casual playthroughs that may not be interested. But if you see a timer, get in there. If you see a timer in the thumbnail, you need to get in there.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. Just fucking be supportive of new people, because we want it. It only benefits us if new people get fucking involved with us. Like, where would we be now if not for the Zoomer takeover? I don't even know where these guys came from, by the way. I have no idea where Shady, Sakura, and Shadow,
I mean,
and all these guys.
the games can only be innovated from there, because like there was a while where I was done with Super. I wasn't gonna try anymore because Kobral's run was unbeatable. It was like a 630 or something like that, and I couldn't do it. I could not beat it. 635, I believe it was. And like this man got an insane run with this route, and I'm done trying. And then Cheese came in with his Totodile Pikachu run, or Totodile Pikachu run, and kind of just showed us that there is another way forward. And I got my first world record in Sky Super because of that. And also, with Sky, I was the only person running Wondermail, and I got it down from 550 something to 530, 527 by myself. And I'm like, okay, this is the farthest I'm gonna go. This isn't gonna get any better. And then Whom came in and started, getting that lower. And then Shadow Phoenix came in and got that even lower. Secure Account came in and got that even lower. So those guys kind of had like a mad fight to get that time down as far down as possible. And it was a level I never could have even imagined possible. So the more people we get in here is the better, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So that being said, what do you guys think about growing this scene in terms of it being like a competitive racing game, like what we did with this tournament? Do you think? I think already, like, if the number of participants or entrants in the next tournament aren't like significantly increased, I would be extremely surprised, because I think everybody's wanting to get involved with the next one.
Yeah, I think the problem was a lot of our player base had either moved on from PMD and not been a part of it anymore, like or at least PMD speedrunning, like Nostality and Pestilent Box. Then there's other people that were there during those days and fucking hated it and did not know how much better it was going to be, and they decided to sit on the sidelines as well. And then I guess there may have been some potential people. I'm not going to say it's a fact, but there may have been people with like fragile egos that may not have been able to handle losing, after they built themselves up being really, really good at the game. That's a possibility as well. But next time I want to see everybody. Sure. It's not Kobral. No, Kobral was willing to get his ass kicked to go 0-2 in the last tournament.
And then come back.
and then came in here and completely fucking destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is I don't think Kobral would have come back to the community. We did a relay in January, and I don't remember who he replaced. It was somebody that was running BRT for the Boomers. I can't remember who it was. I could probably look back later. And then we didn't have a replacement for that, so it was probably gonna be Cheese again. Like Cheese was gonna have to do it. And I messaged him because he told me before I tried to message him leading up to the relay and was like, "Hey, this is the relay. You should sign up." He's like, "I can't confirm I'm gonna be around." Whatever, that's fine. And the day before, Cobra, we really need somebody to do this relay. Will you please do it? And he said, "What time is it?" And I told him the time. He said, "Yeah, I'll be there." Fuck yeah, man! We have a relay of all the generations, and we got the fucking OG. Yes, sir. I was so excited when that happened, and now he's back in full force, and he just fucking took all our money. Let's go, Cobra!
He just walked away like a bandit.
Watch him leave now. Now that he has fucking, he took the money and ran.
I am announcing my retirement. I swore on the front page of Twitch, I am ready to be done. I have achieved everything.
But yeah, I just think the main thing is like I don't know if people in here saw, but I fucking made that meme for the tournament and shit. Like, and we've been doing all the copy pastas, which I do want to get to in a sec. But the main thing is just like getting the community involved as much as possible and getting that interest, because like if you didn't enter this tournament and you're one of our like top runners, you better enter the next one. Otherwise, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even know if you care. Do you even care? I don't know. But like the main thing is just keeping interest and making it interesting for the viewers and players alike. So I think that's just how we grow the scene in that sense. Do we have any plans for the next tournament? Like Cheese is doing something. I don't know if that's public yet, so I don't want to get too much into that.
It's not public yet. He should be saying something about it tomorrow, so keep an eye on the announcements channel tomorrow. Me and Lycanoob are definitely not done with randomizer or the idea of racing through the games either. We do have plans currently to be back at SGL 22 with another randomizer tournament, and we do have plans to do something in between. But we're not certain what that is yet. We're not certain about what either tournament's gonna fully consist of.
I would love to see, like, it has to be within the next 6 months or so, like maybe even less. I think we gotta get another one of these going just to keep the interest. Like I was saying earlier, the fact that people are still like doing the randos.
We did have an idea that I think I can just say because it's a really great idea and it's probably gonna happen. If you're familiar with any other randomizer speedrunning community, you may be familiar with the idea of asyncs, which are basically seed of the week, seed of the month. We post a seed number, and then there's a small Google leaderboard of who finished the level the fastest on their first try. And we want to do that while experimenting with the full game randomizer, where it's like, okay, here's the seed number, go beat the game, and then record yourself doing it and post your time here, just for like a fun little weekly or monthly challenge. And I feel like that might be good for keeping the interest in randomizers high, because otherwise it's going to fade to obscurity with no tournament in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something.
I think creativity permitting in like creating new things for events that we could do. I think an event every quarter would be really cool. So 4 events a year, winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah, we've been doing it pretty much semi-annually up until now, or just whenever we feel like it. Luckily, when I took my break from PMD, Cheese was willing to step up to the mantle to deliver on things. But yeah, now with Cheese, handling pretty much every other event, me and Lycanoob handling our stuff, this community is going to have a lot of events going forward, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, the more the better, and especially like I think we have so much community involvement right now that it would be stupid not to capitalize on it and try to get more shit going soon.
For sure.
So I hope we just keep moving forward with that and that people don't lose interest. That's the goal. But what else did I want to get into? We already talked about that. We already talked about that. Can't talk about Cheese's plans. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Oh, we didn't talk about the copy pastas. This is the part we've all been waiting for. The most exciting part of the whole podcast right here. So I wanted to before this like go back in every single VOD and find like whatever the first copy pasta was, because I truly don't know if it was the Eponymous fans or if it happened beforehand. But as far as I know, I made the first one with the juice box match, where
Definitely.
it was
Mine was very early, yeah.
I gotta like go into the Discord and find it, but it was like JuiceboxCommando is a fucking tactical genius. Yeah. Where is it? I gotta pull it up. It's gotta be here somewhere, right?
Me and Juicebox were doing a Minecraft randomizer today, and that was brought up even today.
Oh, really?
The impact is felt. I was like, damn, Juice, you did that on your first try. That was insane. And Juice was like, of course, he's a fucking tactical genius. So
I could be wrong.
Influence is felt.
I don't know how crazy the Eponymous fans were beforehand. I almost just want to give them the credit first for doing the copy pastas, because I didn't see any previous Eponymous match up until that point. So I don't know if they were doing shit before that. But his fans are crazy, so I feel like they probably did. But unless anyone listening right now has an example of that happening before.
Well,
I'm pretty
sure
sure
your fan base has always loved the copy pastas, Finn, in general. Like especially the 3 wacky numbers on the back. They love that one. So I fully expected that, because your fan base was watching. When I saw that a copy pasta was in chat, I was like, someone from Finn's fan base started that.
Well,
like 100%.
Well, what I want to get into is that like fucking. So I made the Juicebox one where he's a tactical genius, and fucking I can't find it right now, so I'm gonna stop searching. But if you know, you know. Did that one, and then what I was doing essentially was I was taking a bunch of CS:GO copy pastas because the major is going on at this time. So I was just exposed.
Finn, we gotta play the video. I don't know if you remember, but we gotta play the video.
Oh yeah. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to?
Well, we can do that now before we get deeper into copy pasta.
Because because
the video is the copy pasta itself, in my opinion.
Once we get to the Fretzy ones, I'll play it. Is what I'll do.
Yeah.
But I was just taking CS:GO shit, and after I did that and a couple others, that one, thank you. Yeah, JuiceboxCommando is a tactical genius. He is most known of his signature tactic, spawning on the stairs, or spawning on the stairs. He also has second little known tactic of running around until he finds the stairs. What an absolute legend. Top 3 Sky random running for sure. That's just, if you don't know, that's a CS:GO copy pasta where it's about like the IGL of the team or in-game leader being a tactical genius. And instead of like running around until he finds the stairs, it's just like, oh, like rush B, and then it's
click on heads.
He also has second little known tactic of like fake A, rush B, shit like that. So what happened was I did that, and then I started making some others based off like ones I found online and that I saw in the CS:GO chat. And what happened was Secure, of all people, believe it or not, started making his own.
He leaked the Yemo one by accident.
He accidentally leaked the Yemo one, but he found like my source essentially of where I was getting these from. And he's like, is this where you're getting this shit from? And I'm like, yes, you caught me red-handed. And the ones he made like at the end of it, I think he ended up making more than I did. Because let's see. Let me read through this shit. He made a noob one. He took the Scream headshot machine one. I'm gonna paste it in the chat right now. And where like the players scream in CS:GO, he has like this fucking video where he's like, they know me as the headshot machine. I just like one tap the heads. And that's where it's from. But he converted it to like a noob. I was like, noob? They know him as the PMD machine.
Yeah.
They know him from the matches they watch. They talk about his movement and they think for him PMD is so easy. He just goes into a match and that's it. But his gameplay, it comes from more than just a game. For him, PMD, it's about precision. This part people don't see. This part, it does not show up in time. When he sits down to play, everything already is a part of him. And then
that copy pasta is funny for like another reason. I know Noob is somebody that is very proud of his movement capabilities. Like,
yeah.
He's one of the first guys to do BRT quick save. So like he was very proud of how he's able to move in this game. So it's like it's another level on it.
And then Secure also did one, which I saw and I was like, man, this would be a good one, but I don't know how to like convert this into PMD, especially for the stream, because like it had the word like shit in it, and I'm like, I don't want to like fucking violate whatever the family rules of the Speed Gaming Live shit is going for. But Secure made this one for Kobral, which you have seen. I'm sure.
Yup.
I'm telling you, Kobral is as cracked as he is jacked. I saw him at a 7-Eleven the other day buying monster and adult diapers. I asked him what the diapers were for, and he said they contain my full power so I don't completely crap on these kids. Then he mobile scarfed out the door. And the CSGO version is like he b-hopped out the door, so I thought the mobile scarf was a good substitute. And then let me go into
It's so like I remember there was so much confusion around that one. Like, why the adult diapers? Why?
And then I made this one for Yimo, which I used, I think. I don't know if people liked it that much, but I spent so much time constructing the emoji usage in this because you have to use 500 characters for a Twitch message. And I had to delete so many words and make so many like grammatical errors just to fit all the emojis. But yeah, it's hard to read because of all the emojis, but Yimo is one of the smartest players to ever play this game, and you know that. Just give him rare fossils, hidden stairs, and he'll dominate the dungeon all by himself, and even die, so that Bidoof can go on the expedition. Tell me if this isn't the best thing a player can do. Give his life and give up having good stats so that his team can succeed. I can't hold back the tears anymore. Damn, my keyboard is all wet now. Yimo. So there's that. And then you have to use 500. Can't use less. Yeah. I had like I think that one might be like $4.99 or $4.98. I was just like pushing it as far as I could. And then
Yimo is great, but nobody's immune to the JuiceboxCommando curse.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then do you still have the screenshots, Hal? Because you were screenshotting a lot of them and posting
they're all in the rando participant channel. I can probably scroll up for them.
Yeah, if you could find those, that'd be great. And then I'll post the one Secure made, where you have to have a very high IQ to understand Yimo's plays. That's another Secure classic, where the movement is extremely subtle and without all aggressive, Mantine, REA, no one in
Oh, this is the best one. This one was one about you.
Which one?
This one.
Oh my god, dude! This was a Yimo made one actually.
Yeah.
This one was so good, just because like it was so topical with the aggron. So you're going by HG. Can you guys see it? Okay, I hope you can.
Yeah.
So you're going by HgFin now, nerd. Haha, what's up, douchebag? It's me, Aggron from the Expedition Guild. Remember me? Listen, guys, just give you a hard time in the random races. Sorry, you were just an easy target. LOL. I can see not much has changed. Remember Gold Split, the girl you had a crush on? Yeah, we're married now. I make over 200k P a year in a horn drill TM. The fucking horn drill TM is what gets me, dude. The fucking horn drill one. I guess some things never change, Hun Loser. Nice catching up. So that was the Yemo one.
So good.
And I know Yemo made a lot more as well. There's just so many. It ended up becoming like, this blew up so hard. Like people were making
If HgFin has millions of fans, I am one of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
HgFin has 10 fans, and I'm one of them. If HgFin has no fans, that means I am no more on the earth. If world is against HgFin, I am against the world. I love HgFin till my last breath. Diehard fan of HgFin. Hit like if you think HgFin is the best and smartest in the world.
Dude, I was slamming that one. I don't remember what match it came out
Oh,
on,
the
but I
Alex
was
19 one.
spamming that one.
The Alex 19 one for Kobral is pretty good too.
Which one is it?
Kobral isn't so great. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, I love that one. Yeah. This one is this was one of my favorite ones. Which at this point, since we're getting to the Kobral ones, it's probably a good segue to play the video. But we'll just read this first. Kobral isn't so great. Wait, I got pulled up. Isn't so great. Wait, whoopsies. Can you guys see it? I think so. Are you kidding me? When was the last time you saw a player with such an ability and movement in PMD Sky? Kobral puts the game at another level, and we will be blessed if we ever see a player with a skill and passion for the game again. Whom breaks records. Secure account breaks records. Kobral breaks the rules, so you can keep your statistics. I prefer the magic. And I just loved using like Kobral magic as a phrase during the whole every one of his matches. Just like he just has a magic. Hulk has to beat the Kobral magic.
I tried, dude. I tried.
And then
I do think if I didn't pick fucking Starly in Winners Finals, I think I do win the tournament because like he didn't finish until like 34 minutes, and I almost got there with fucking Starly.
Yeah.
Like, and then I have another game to throw in Grand Finals, and yeah, that's a different topic though.
Oh, and where is it? Secure made such a good one for Eponymus too. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, this one was so perfect for his abuse because of the fact that he was playing against Eponymus. And if you don't know, like I think Zabuse has like 5th on the emulator leaderboard.
I didn't know Zabuse actually had a run on the leaderboards before this tournament started.
Yeah.
I thought he was a BRT runner only.
So Zabuse has like 5th and Eponymus has like 3rd as far as I know. So this one was just so fitting for that match in specific.
Yeah.
Where you might get fooled by Zabuse Sky leaderboard time not being as low as his opponent. Or just watch any match and you will see why Zabuse is the best. With over 70 completed seeds and 12 matches commentated, he's so versatile. You can give him any starter, even a Kakuna, and put him in a match, and he'll humiliate the other players with his amazing skill and out of this world game sense. I thought that one was fucking so good, especially considering the context of that match.
Yeah.
And then let's see.
That one got spammed a lot as he went further and further through the tournament.
That's fucking great. And then so I made one. I don't know if whom ever had a dedicated one, but essentially I did have one for whom that I never got to use because I like missed his matches. And then Secure did the favor of converting it into a Kobral one. And this one got spammed a lot during the grand final match. That's another emoji one. Also known as Gobral. Kobral is without a doubt the best player that ever played this game. Secure account is best runner and world record holder. But Kobral, he's the Messi of PMD Sky Rando. He's not from this planet. His movement, always on point. His game sense, impeccable. He's also most ethical player ever exists. Kobral, God, can use any starter or partner, and he's still better than 100% of players. You know why? Because Kobral can't lose races. And yeah, I was about to get... Wait, what is this one? You might have been fooled when Halqery picked Sarli in Grand Finals. It was perfectly calculated. For the fans, for the viewers, for the integrity of the set, Halqery purposefully nerfed himself to make the set as close as possible. Don't you forget it. Halqery never lost Grands. Halqery put on a show and won the hearts of all. This one has to be archived. I never saw that.
I think Rock literally just made that up just now.
Dude,
that's also what the Kakuna death was for. It was to make the game close so that everybody would... It was a rush, you know?
I mean, I'm a man of the people. Always have been.
That's just so
good. I put on these fucking events. To be honest, I shouldn't have even been in Grands. To be quite, let's be 100% frank on this. There were people that definitely should have made it farther than my dumbass.
And we can't talk about these copy pastas without talking about the Eponymous ones. So if anybody has,
Oh, are we gonna play the video?
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a sec. I wanted to share the one that was made for you. I think Noob made it unless somebody else did. I don't even know if you saw it. So this would be a good first reaction. But before I post it, if anybody has the Eponymous ones, post those now so we can read those, because he didn't have like as many of them, but there's like one, maybe two that the Eponymous fans were doing the whole time. But anyway, this one was being spammed during the grand finals match. I think Noob was the first to post it. I don't know who actually made it. Yeah, they used a sub emote in it, which is annoying, but it's whatever. But this one was being done during that your match, Halq. Halq is the best player 2021 so far. His playstyle is so good that the commentators can't even see where he is in the dungeon. Wait, no, wait, this is the wrong one. Hold on, wait. This is the wrong one. That's another one, but still. Anyway, if you think Halq is in one place and you go check that place, you'll find he's not there and is actually on the stairs. And by this time, he's already beaten Groudon. Enemies choke just by seeing his name in bracket. Just ask Jay about it, and he will tell you more about it. Which I love.
Poor Jay.
Poor Jay. He just had to get outed. He just had to get outed, bro. But I built it up the hype for the wrong one. I think I made that one, but I gotta find the one Noob made real quick. Hold on.
I mean, you didn't really have many victims. You didn't really have any people to choose from because I stayed winners. Like it was just like it was Jay Carbossi and Inferno Bren. Like that was it up to that point.
Okay, this is the one I was just talking about. Back before the stone was set, there was only one. Kobral was the one, the only. He won every single race in the land, taking time to look over his domain, ever watching. But then came a small lad named Halqery. He heard the fable of Kobral doesn't lose races and thought to himself, just one thought. Bet. Ever since that fabled day, Halqery has won every race against Kobral that he cares to try in. The early game was merely there for show. Halq is showing his true power now. And then he went on to lose. It really does read like a medieval poem or some shit, you know? Like
I'm glad that Noob gave us canonical confirmation that Halq just wasn't trying in grand finals.
Essentially, yeah, just Halq only lost because he wasn't trying, guys. Copium.
I don't remember what I was running, but I do think if I don't die, members will get a second set at least. Like I think that's very very valid.
Because like these coffee pastas in general, this has never been done before for us at least, right?
I mean the other two tournaments were put on Randomania, which is a much smaller platform, and then the first one was on my channel. So there wasn't room, like there was just people watching, but there was no like chat interaction at all, and there still isn't. But like if something notable happens in chat, the commentators are gonna notice it. Like they answer questions and they're in chat. So if you do something like this, it can't be ignored by the people just trying to keep a straight face the whole time.
Right.
So it's great for the content, I think.
And I hope we didn't like blow our load entirely too early. If you know what I mean? Because like we used so
many. Did saying I was gonna fucking take down the stones or whatever. Like this shit is. That load was blown fucking a half hour in advance.
Well, what I mean is like all these can be reused in the next tournament, right? So long as like these players enter, and like we can swap the names out if we so choose. But it's nice that like a lot of people just have their own specific one. But like for the runners who didn't enter, we're gonna have to find new material for them, you know. So I'm sure there's shit out there. It probably won't be that hard, but I think this was great because it just got chat so interacted. And then made a lot of memes out of it, which I thought was fucking funny as hell.
Just a side note, completely unrelated that I want to touch on. There was a lot of like, I saw a lot of crossover in a lot of events in SGL and that are on speed gaming. Specifically, there's people that came in from the Crystal community that joined for this tournament, and some of them have become very prominent members of the community, such as Strife Sada, being probably one of our most prolific commentators. That's great for our game. And me and Lycanim going over to Minecraft and fucking destroying everything. That's great because we put Team PMD. That was the name of our team. So now, our name is plastered there as the winner, like property of,
Congrats on that shit, by the way.
Everybody should have been entering more events, is all I'm going to say. They were fucking free.
Yeah.
If there's a game you like, you should have been entering.
If I had known, I was telling you this yesterday, if I had known the Minecraft prize pool was that free, where I literally could have just entered and won a free like $100 or whatever, I would have.
Yeah, so the tournament had a $1,020 prize pool. The prize split was 40, 30, 15, 15. There were only 4 teams. So even the last place team got $75 each.
Yeah, like that's nuts.
I'm not gonna lie.
Went 0 and 3.
Not to sound like holier than thou or anything, but like I wish that I had known what Minecraft Archipelago was, because now that I've done 2 matches of it, I'm like, shit. Even if there wasn't prize money, I would have done this. It's fun.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I've only seen you and Noob help do it like a couple times on your stream, but it does look fun. And like
it's really easy to get into as well.
I'm just mad. That was free money if I entered. Like
Yeah.
That was literally the free. All you have to do is click a button.
The Minecraft Archipelago, for those that are not familiar, people are asking. Basically, what it does is it strips away your ability to make. So when you start a vanilla game of Minecraft, you have the world at your disposal immediately. You have the ability to make whatever you want, so long as you have the materials for it. That ability is taken away from you, where at the beginning of the game, you're only able to make wooden tools, wooden weapons, and leather armor. And as you complete advancements, like getting wood, Stone Age, getting an upgrade, a CD play, stuff like that, you unlock. That's where you get like checks. Those are where your checks are, and you can unlock the ability to make stone tools, progressive weapons, progressive tools, the ability to brew, the ability to make a bed, and it's really, really, really fun because it's a really interesting play on traditional Minecraft speedrunning. Yet there's a lot of techniques from traditional Minecraft speedrunning that you can utilize, like defeating the Ender Dragon with like 5 beds. Like that's still a thing you can do, and it's still optimal.
It's like obviously this is like a PMD podcast, so we don't want to get like too super into it. But the thing that I've found with the Minecraft run is if you like running PMD, you'll probably like Minecraft Archipelago.
It's just because it's basically
like yeah, it's like it's RNG. It's based on your game knowledge more than like learning tricks, and it's just like it's different every single time. It's really cool. It's fun. It's like first person PMD.
The emulator gods will be good at it because they already use keyboard. So
yeah.
The only thing different is they have to use a mouse. But we have.
But yeah, next year for SGL 22, like I think the big thing that everyone was saying was, I didn't know it had the prize pool. Everybody who participated in this tournament was forced to be in the SG Live Discord. And in the announcement section, they did post a link to their speedgaming.com/SG Live page, where it did list what the prize pool was for every game. Next year, when this comes up, make sure you check that list. If there's something you like, you think you'll be good at, make sure you enter.
I saw this video and you uploaded it.
So,
oh my god.
Yeah, let's show this now. Shit, we already lost some viewers, but it's okay. I wanna play. I'll just pull it up on the big screen so you guys can see it. But this was what I made. Go like the video. I'll post the link in this. Like, go like it. But let's just watch this real quick.
In red. Hello, madam. I want to give you some free cash. Free cash. £5 for you. No cash? Well, that was a reaction. Whew. So if I said to you, I've got cold, hard cash in my pocket, ready to give to you, no strings, what would you say?
I think you're mad.
You'd think I'm mad. I want to give you a free £5. Ready? Take it off me. It's yours. No catch? No? Free £5. Ah, well, you continue on. I hope your day gets better. Bit grumpy. Hello. My name is David. I'm from GeoReco.
No, thank you.
Oh, all right. I was trying to give you £1,000 in cash, but I want to make sure they're from. I'm trying to give you a big cash
Music
prize,
quality.
sir. Oh. Okay, well, I'm giving away free cash if you have one moment. Please believe me and stop for a moment. I've been trying to give away £1,000 for an hour.
If I were to ask Halqery,
Oh my God.
I'm assuming he's saying himself. I know I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say Kobral. This man
You
doesn't
don't
lose
win
races,
matches to Kobral, yeah.
and these are races. Actually, if you haven't been able to tell, these matches are conducted in races in a race format, and in that format, he is untouchable.
Gotta get in. There we go.
The final boss.
Time to show the power of Super Fang. It's a very good move.
Oh, right. That is very, very good for this. It works on bosses. Rare Fossil, Super Fang. Oh, he's not even going for it.
Interesting. He's just going straight for
Too
fossils.
stressed.
Oh, he's not even having Here we go. Just because he has the revive. He didn't care what the
There it
trophies
is.
had. And now he's
Kobral.
Jesus Christ.
going undefeated in this tournament.
Very impressive. As I was trying to say in the beginning, like, there was so little activity from Kobral and PMB for so long. And all of a sudden, he hit the pedal went to the metal.
That's fucking gold.
It's excellent. It's an art form.
Hey.
Yeah, dude. I thought it came out pretty good.
Did you play the part at the end where it's like that was bullshit?
Oh yeah. I'll go back real quick on.
The pedal went to the metal.
That was complete bullshit. Like,
Hey.
Just hey. But yeah, what did you guys think about it?
It's fantastic. I watched it when it came out.
It's so fucking accurate. Like for a lot of these players, like Shadow Phoenix, like Secure, Shady, it literally is free money. That's just the funny thing.
Yeah.
And granted, when the bracket was open, it wasn't very well known that there was that much money.
Yeah. Like we said, like it didn't even.
But like,
it wasn't even a thing until after registration closed. But
yeah. I mean, the fucked up part is that Cappy did his donation on like Tuesday, and we closed registration on a Wednesday. So
yeah,
it just wasn't. Like, he went into their Discord on Thursday and went, "Hey, I made a donation. It's not showing up. Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "How much money did you give?" And I went and looked at the match arena right in that moment. I'm like, "Holy fucking shit, $600!"
yeah.
I was like, "Jesus, dude!"
And like,
that was insane.
But even before that, it was still free money. Like that's so like
it was an $81 prize pool. If you win the tournament, you get $60. That's enough to buy a new game if you want to.
Yep.
Yeah,
just for like a couple weeks of effort.
That alone was worth it. But then like no one expected. Shout out to Cappy, man. Like
Cappy made it okay for large money to be in the tournament.
Yeah,
that's after that it was just all uphill from there. Apparently, at one point, I think I mentioned the last time, I got an anonymous $170 donation. I still have no idea where the fuck that came from.
Yeah. You might never know, but shout out to them. Shout out to you and Noob Halq for doing the initial 20s. Shout out to Ryoner. He did like fucking 70 or something, you know. Everybody who contributed. Like I do hope we can do more like prize pool shit in the future. But yeah, I thought the meme came out pretty good. I was trying to stream that night. I made this all like yesterday. And I was like, I just wanted to make something quick. And then I kept having ideas. And I was like, well, I can't have Secure and not have Shady. Then I can't have Shady and not have Shadow. So it just kept going and going. And then, yeah, I ended up with what we got. But, yeah, that came out good. That being said, is there anything else you want to talk about? Because it is getting really close. That's 12.
There was something that we said we want to talk about maybe, and it was what cheating measures or anti-cheating measures we had in place regarding this tournament. For Decima May, there's not a whole lot we can do, and there's things that we've actually brainstormed now that we'll probably implement next time. not gonna say what they are because that would kind of defeat the purpose and allow people to create workarounds. But for this tournament specifically, what we did to at least do our best to mitigate any potential cheating is we only sent seeds to players after their streams were live. So if they opened up another instance of Destiny, it may be a lot harder to conceal, through it being displayed through their desktop audio. They'd have to work 10 times as hard just to cheat. But on top of that, we were very proactive in making sure the seed numbers were right. Sometimes we can't get it because the commentators don't have a very clear view of the screens. That's not really regarding cheating. And there were times where I had to make a seed for Noob had to make a seed for me. There may be questions about like, oh, did you share the seeds in advance? It doesn't benefit me to give Noob the seed in advance. I'm fucking terrified of Noob. I don't want to play him. If anything, it's a detriment. Like legitimately, I would not give him a seed. Like it's a fucking $1,000 on the line. I want to make sure he has as hard of a time as possible getting through.
Yeah, for
Because
anybody
he will
who
beat my
didn't
ass.
practice, anybody who didn't practice against Noob and thinks that Halk would be trying to get him further in the bracket so he could beat him, Noob would regularly, while we were practicing, just not say anything while everybody's complaining about the ROM, and then just be like, done. And we look at the timer, it's like fucking 26 minutes.
Like,
it was ridiculous.
I could go on and on about this issue. Like, I'm gonna only show you guys right now. This is what I ended up like writing about like this.
It's really small. Then we make it bigger.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you wrote a whole fucking essay.
Yeah.
Like, this is how much I could talk about like this thing, like in all the aspects of it, but it doesn't affect us because well, right now at least, but the whole point of it is that it could affect us in the future. That was the whole like idea behind it. But obviously, like, no one had any questions or doubts about you guys running it because we all
to bring up
you
another
guys.
possible concern. It may appear that I got an easy side of the bracket in winners. I already explained earlier in the podcast about my seeding and how we basically came to a consensus that experience in randos matters more than experience in just running PMD in general.
Yeah.
And because of that, Easton was seeded very, very highly, having done really well in the past randomizer tournaments and even beating some actual PMD runners, even though he doesn't run the game himself. But to say that there was anything like influencing me to do that at the time when we completed seeding on like Monday because nobody else signed up like between Monday and Wednesday. At that point, there was only $40 in the pool, and 20 of it was mine.
Exactly.
So...
Like literally, like this was like all before Cap even donated. Like the bracket was made, so it wouldn't even make sense. Like you guys just, if you wanted to make profit, you wouldn't have.
I should just not put in my money.
Of your money.
Yeah.
So like clearly,
even if I win the tournament, I might get my money back at that point. Like that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I hope that quashes any questions anybody might have about that or anything.
I think like it's pretty obvious that like if anyone actually fucking is concerned about Halk or Noob rigging the bracket or cheating or some shit, I'll put my whole reputation on the line and say they didn't. There's no way that it wouldn't make sense, and they care about the community too much to do so. But
I just remember seeing comments of like, "Oh my god, there's 3 admins and Zaboos in the final 4." Like this fucking collusion. Like I understand it's a joke usually, but like someone may not see that as you joking. They may say, "Oh wait, actually that's like true." But what's going on there?
Yeah.
Like no, Kobral just very much outperformed his seed. Kobral had the hardest bracket of anybody. He had to play Zaboos first, and then he had to play Lycanoob, and then he had to play Whom, and then he had to play me twice. I think he had the hardest winners bracket of anybody, and that's just a fact.
Yes, and I just showed you guys, I could fucking go on and on about this because I'm more worried about the potential future for us to have an actual like competitive scene like that and prize pools being involved, and if the correct people aren't running them, that's just all I'm concerned about. Just having measures in place to prevent anything like that. But if we get to it next episode, if I feel like it, then we will.
Yeah, it's a good point, because the people that Kobral had to play against got first, or second, third, and fourth. Those was everybody he beat in the tournament. Second, third, and fourth.
Yep.
So
he's gamer.
So yeah, he definitely had the hardest run for sure.
But Yeah, moving on from that because we could go on about it. I do want to end it on a positive
In
note
yeah.
and just say that like the sermon was fucking dope. Shout out to Halqery for organizing this all and caring so much about the community that they would put this together and put their own money on the line. The first people to do so, to have a prize pool and make things interesting, and just trying to give back to the community in that sense.
Yeah, like, I legitimately was expecting nothing in return.
Yeah,
because like, yeah, it'd be cool to win my money back just to be like, oh god, I made an investment and it worked out. But like, I was expecting nothing. I was expecting to get like 9th or something. Because I was expecting more people to show up and play. I was expecting to lose like Shadow and Secure or Shadow and Shady. Like I was expecting to lose to like the top echelon that we just had completely fucking absent in this tournament.
yeah.
So I mean,
So I hope these guys show up
join
next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even if like, no, go ahead.
This tournament really just speaks to the quality of the community, I think, especially our like admins and stuff. Because I know you said ended on a positive note, but I'm gonna be frankly honest. When I stopped running towards the end of 2018, I was done. I was not gonna run PMD ever again. But I come back at least once a year just because the admins of the community put on cool events that I want to be a part of. Even though I don't want to play PMD anymore. But then they're like, oh, fucking Sky Rando beat Groudon. I'm like, okay, I'll play PMD.
I'm back in the game out of retirement.
Oh, Relay, fucking all generations of PMD.
Yep, came back for that.
Which
So,
I think is
think
great.
he PB'd in that by a massive amount.
Yeah, I PB'd in that by like 30 minutes because fucking hold on, let me figure out where Finn is so I can point at him. This guy, his skitty strats, I had never used them before. I PB'd by like 30 minutes.
That's okay.
Oh well, the camera's back. This guy, yeah, I had never used skitty strats before, and then I PB'd by like 30 minutes in the relay.
Yeah, skitty strats. I'm a big skitty fan. But yeah, I think that it brought a lot of us together when we were kind of separated before, as all of the events usually do. They always like bring us together. And I hope that the next one even brings us closer together and get more people involved. But again, shout out to Halqery for organizing this and everyone that donated. Thank you to everybody that fucking participated. Shout out to Cappy and Ethicus for providing us the resources to even do this. You know, without them, this is impossible at all. And let's talk about the next race for a second. I don't even know what it's gonna be. If it's anything like this, the meta might be changed. It might be the same. I have no idea. But
we're definitely going to take feedback into very heavy consideration. So if you have any feedback for this tournament or have anything that we didn't mention earlier with Sabusa's messages, definitely DM me or like Noob. We share it with each other and we discuss it. And hopefully for the next event we have more people involved in managing the tournament because really it was me and like Noob, and then the leaderboard mods could chime in on things that they didn't like.
Yeah.
And that's not a very efficient system. I think we need at least like 4 administrators for a tournament.
Like ideally, but it's hard because we're just a small community, so
yeah.
But
but,
I'd like to also extend that your recommendations for changes, you can still have recommendations if you're not a runner, because like as we've stated several times, we would like this to become sort of like a spectator competitive sport. And if it's not fun to watch because of a very simple to fix thing, we would like to know that.
Yeah, like viewership, entertainment is pretty important. So like if something's like boring, like if watching people throw rare fossils all the time is boring. I don't
like
know.
rare fossils, they're consistent, but if it's really lame and it's like widely agreed on that, then just like tell us.
I don't know what's more entertaining or what would be more entertaining, watching people throw rare fossils and like moving through the dungeons, or like actually having to use their moves and adapt. I don't know what's more entertaining on the viewership perspective. I don't even know what the community prefers in terms of playing, but because I feel like we're pretty split on it. So I don't know. Just yeah, if you have ideas, share them. Probably again, like I've fucking said this a million times, we're not entitled to any of these changes actually being done, but might as well just put them out there just in case. And there's no harm in even just sharing the idea. So yeah. That being said, shout out to all the commentators, by the way. Like,
Yeah, I
we
can probably pull up the list. Commentary. Okay. Shoutouts to me, Strife Sada, Dog, Shadow Phoenix, Juice, Zaboos, Paz Colin, Inferno Bren, Jrachi, Finn, Reiner, Ethan, Pixel, Quill, Whom and Cheese. Like, you know, without a commentary team, we don't really have an entertaining broadcast. Like, there's one tournament I participated in this event. I'm not going to actually say what it is because I don't want to bash them or anything. But a lot of the match had absolutely no commentary. So it makes it hard for a viewer to be engaged in what's going on if one, they don't understand it, or two, there's no hype being created around it because you're just watching two people play a video game, I guess, in a race format, but like beyond that you have no investment. So it is really a hard job of the commentators to be able to bring that excitement, especially thank you to Zaboos and Strife Sodic. I think of everybody, they did do the most commentary and filled the most slots of anybody, which, I mean, that doesn't make them any better than anybody else, but those were matches where we may have had no commentators.
It was like, I think I heard this in the Zaboos stream. Strife literally commentated in 19 out of the 45 matches, which is a crazy statistic.
That's insane.
That's almost half. He literally commented almost half of them.
It doesn't make Strife and Zaboos any better than anybody else, but it does net them a pan of brownies if I ever see them. So
yeah, like if you just commentated one match, you do us a favor, But like the guys that literally put in so much work and time to consistently do them, especially, needs to be thanked. So shout out to Strife and Zaboos and Halq did a lot. Jeez, I don't know how many you did, Juice.
I woke up at like 5 a.m. one day for commentary when I had work at 7 or work at 7.
Was that the one
Finn
I
joined
joined?
Me? Yeah, that was the one where you kind of stumbled in. I had no idea how long you've been up or anything.
Yeah.
But you helped me out a lot. Just give me someone to bounce off things.
Yeah. So fucking thank you guys for doing that. And I don't know what else. Anything else?
Thank you, the people watching that were interested in the tournament, that followed the tournament, that told people about the tournament. If you ever did any of those things, thank you so much. Because like I said earlier, word of mouth means so much. It means more than anything we could ever put into a tweet or a message or a post. It means so much. And it's the only way our community will grow, or it's probably the most important way our community will grow.
Yeah, like our viewership for these was insane. Like it was rare that we weren't close to 100 viewers for each match, even on like the less important streams, like this number 6 or like number 7, right? Whatever.
Yeah, Speed Gaming 7, we did get to 100 viewers on that, I believe.
Like
if I'm not mistaken.
That's just crazy. So thank you guys for showing up for that. It's really important, I think, that we actually care and watch these kind of things. So yeah, good shit, you guys. I think this was honestly such a sick event, and I am really looking forward to the next one, whether it's fucking random or whatever Cheese is setting up, whatever it's about to go down next. I'm excited for it.
Make sure you check out the announcements channel tomorrow. He said he's going to have an announcement there. So
yeah.
Are we continuing the Stair Floor next week?
So that's the thing, right? Because so what we could do is we could. You saw the essay arrow. We could get into all the cheating and ethical aspects of it, of these sort of events, or like depending on what Cheese announces, we could just spend the whole episode talking about that and theorizing things. So
maybe when we launch those asyncs, the async idea, we can make it a weekly async, and then we can discuss the results.
The what thing?
Be something where the seat of the week, seat of the month.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd
We
be
just kind of
yeah.
look through the runs and just kind of like talk about them and
Hey,
just kind of go over the highlights of them.
if that happens, fuck it, that'll give us something to talk about, you know. So, I'm gonna say a hard probably for next week's episode.
The hardest probably.
The hardest probably ever.
What a commitment.
And if you're just now showing up, I'm uploading the VOD to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello. You can also, of course, just watch back in the Twitch VOD. I'll be highlighting it.
They'll probably need to watch back in the Twitch VOD anyway, because a lot of the copy pastas we talked about, we only posted them in chat.
Yeah, so like what I did with the last one is on YouTube. Obviously, I don't have chat on the screen, but I did link to the Twitch VOD. So if you're going to do that, you know, still leave a like if you feel like it, because helps the shit grow. But the chat is essential. Well, not essential, but it's nice to look at sometimes because we have a lot of people in here that are experienced and know what they're talking about, and they're providing feedback as well. And we don't get to read everything, so I'm not. Chat's like way over here. I'm not even looking at chat half the time during this whole thing. So, especially for the copy pasta portion, it's worth checking out. Even though we did read all those out loud. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you to JuiceboxCommando and Halq for joining me. Hard probably on the next episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. So thanks. Bye.